Yeah. I said, and Paramount sit out here for a bitch, you know. And hold me get back confidence. I'm the algorithm glitching when the ceiling get tested. Turning panic into profit, lead the critics infested. Every sentence got decimals, my talk is invested. I don't flex with possessions, I flex compound interest. I was born in the red, now the balance immaculate. Turn a doubt to a dividend, savage with averages. I see fear in the headlines, I feast on the scandal. Turn the wick into weapons, watch the candles get handled. And every move is a message, every loss is a lesson. I don't pray for forgiveness, I pray for aggression. Got a boardroom memorial you can smell when I enter. I don't chase what's trending, I invent the incentive. Turn ink into gold with a stroke of intention. My pen print money, every quota suspension. Of disbelief, they ain't ready to mention how I turn speculation into code apprehension. I juggle time zones, my sleep on layaway. Jet lag, but my net worth wide awake. I don't follow the wave, I design the tide. Put a throne in the clouds, let the skyline decide. I speak fluent leverage, my grammar is risk. Every bar hit heavy like a margin call kiss. I don't gamble with luck, I romance with the odds. Make a guide out of data, then I profit off guides. I don't cap, 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 I don't cap. I'm calm when it crashes, that's the hunter in me. While they flinch at the fire, I'm adjusting my seat. I got blood on the spread, she's still cleaning the soup. Every loss just a ghost that I'm teaching to loop. I don't blink or collapse, I just circle the wreckage. Turn the rubble to leverage, every ruin the message. They scream into the world, I hear clearance sale. Put a crown on my balance, watch the narrative fail. I've been rich in the mind, not a paper a line. They was loud with opinions, I was patient with time. Now my silence expensive, every word costs a fee. If I nod, markets move, that's authority. I don't need validation, I validate trends. I don't break under pressure, I pressure my friends. To elevate vision, eradicate limits. I've been rich so long, money started acting like minutes. Every step is historic, every breath is a flex. I don't chase what's next, I collect what's left. From the ashes of fear, I built kingdoms of mad. Left footprints and profit, paved roads out of crash. They asked how you do it, I laugh and I sip. I don't chase every dollar, I make dollars flip. Now the crown feel heavy, but my neck reinforced. I ain't king by opinion, I'm king by force. Print it, flip it, count it again. Print it, flip it, count it again. Flip it, count it again.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Hello, and welcome back to my mom's basement. Folks, I'm so happy to be here. It was a long weekend of moving and setting up and misplacing my TV remote in one box that I still can't find, so your boy can't watch TV. As you can tell, I'm actually missing a light that generally goes right here, and that's because I managed to break one of my 3 lights. I have a light, and then there's supposed to be another one right here. So we do have one ordered. So hey, I'm very happy to be back in my mom's basement. I'm so excited to be back with you guys. But if I could ask one giant favor, before you start yelling at me for not having the best show ever, give me 1 week. I have a lot of stuff ordered. I'm planning on making a lot of trips. We're really going to deck this thing out. And if you ask me, I think honestly, for my first attempt at this, like the vibe of the show, we have a whole new camera mount. We have a whole new monitor system. I actually feel like I did pretty good. I think we did pretty solid with this. So I'm going to do a little bit more lighting, but overall, I'm happy with it. You know, I'm going to be honest. I'm happy to be back in my mom's place. I'm very happy to be back in my mom's basement where this all really got started with you folks. Ned, or am I going to bring Ned back? It's a quality question. Unfortunately, Ned is in fact dead. So we would need Ned 2.0. Rumble, is it not live on Rumble right now? It should be. Hang on. No, it's there. Someone on Rumble saying it's not coming through. I would say just give it a quick reload. If you're on Rumble right now, I can see myself on Rumble. I can see myself on Rumble for sure. How in the world? Okay, that's coming through as expected. Is there a possible way to get the chat? Because this is putting both chats together. I think this is putting both chats together. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing both chats over there. How do we pop this up? I'll have to figure that out. Shout out to Fuzzy, long-standing member of the Goonie community for years and years. I'm talking maybe even like the day AMC and Jimmy started. He was one of the OG people. And what's really, really fun about it is for years, he's been telling me, Matt, you need a stream deck. Matt, you need a stream deck for years and years and years. Shout out to Fuzzy, telling me to get it. And I was like, finally, whatever. Like, stop yelling at me about it. I'm going to go buy a stream deck. So I bought it. And then I spent years just not using it. And in this move, I found the box that has the stream deck in it. And now I could do all these cool things with just, how do I want to set it up where it's a little bit closer to me? All I have to do is put all these buttons on. Like, for example, right there, I was saying I can mute myself, quick little button. I can hit these buttons to quickly switch the scene. I could pop myself all over. I could put myself back. I have all of these other awesome, like, dude, I could play. Oh, you guys can't hear that? Hang on. It's going to take me.
You getting mad? I'm getting rich. You getting mad? I'm getting rich.
Here comes the money.
Dollar.
How about now? I'm muted. Like I said, it's going to take me a little bit to get used to all of, I need to get different icons. So what's it look like? Off, that's on, that's off, that's on. Okay, so on, audio check. We have that, we have this, we have this.
You getting mad?
That's working, right? Yeah.
I'm getting rich.
All right, we're going to have that one. We'll dedicate that to all the haters. And then when they're right and I end up blowing out an account, we'll play this one. All right, so we're going to do that one. Dude, I'm loving it. All right, I'm going to have to shift these around a little. Oh, that's why I accidentally muted myself, because the back button, if I hit it twice in a row, the one it goes to is the mute button. Ooh, okay. That's good to know. That is good to know. All right, see? Growing pains. We're figuring out. Actually, I love this camera angle because I feel like I can like talk to the camera, talk to you guys, read chat a little bit better. Finally, I became a real trader and got a whole nother monitor so I can see what's going on with the charts. And call me crazy, I think I'm going to upgrade to the next level and get a vertical dual mount thing for 2 monitors right in front of me. So one, like the camera's going to be there, and I think I'm going to put the other monitor on top so you guys can still see my smiling face, and yet I can track what's going on with spot gamma, book map, all that stuff. So I'm pretty stoked about it. I'm pretty freaking stoked about it. And hey, feel free to DM me if you have any suggestions of what monitors I should be using and what monitor mount system I should be using. I've been talking to chat GPT quite a bit about it to like whatever, aggregate all the reviews, this, that, the other thing. But I am in the market and I'm just trying to decide which one's going to be perfect. Because like I said, I need a landscape computer and then another one on top of it right here. And I'm going to put it right above the camera lens so I can still see this all fine. So Dell, that's so funny. AJYT. It's interesting you were suggesting Dell because that's exactly what ChatGPT was saying. Whatever the newest, greatest Dell is, like a 4K Dell, that's what ChatGPT was saying. And then also was saying to, I don't know, there's seemingly one pretty popular mount system that I was interested in. But I think it was 60. I don't want to do 60 because I do still have these other vertical ones. So I think it's 27 inch, I want to say. Because right now in front of me, I have an Omen. But if I can get two Dells, the issue is I think the Dells are going to be higher quality resolution. So I do need to figure that out a little bit. But we're going to see. Why not a trading pad? I have no clue what a trading pad is, but it feels like it's not going to be as good as the other things you guys are suggesting. All right, so we're going to get this all figured out. Eventually, just give me 1 week. Give me 1 week, and I think we're really going to be able to turn around. What I can't figure out is I don't want a white wall behind me. This is the one thing. So if we have someone who is uniquely good at design, interior design, stream setup design, this white wall is going to drive me crazy. So I kind of want it to be like a warm vibe. I'm envisioning the fact that we're all trading in a man cave together. That's like my great big thought here. And I kind of like the tone that some of this blue is setting, but the white wall, I mean, folks, I'm already mayonnaise white. Look at this. I'm borderline translucent. Like if you didn't know me, you'd probably think I was a vampire. So we have to do something to contrast that a little bit. And it's actually going to make the lighting easier, not to get too far into the depths of it, but this like white/yellow light on a white ass person with a white ass background. That's why I'm wearing a black shirt so often, is just to give a little bit of a contrast, but sometimes the contrast is so vast that I need to figure it out. So I'm almost thinking about like a wooding background. I see some people suggesting that, and that's also kind of where my mind was at with it. Was maybe like a little bit of a wooden background, because I think that lighter brown, darker brown, and then we can get some lights in there, a cool neon sign, something like that. Too many shadows, yes, I know. Once again, I am missing the major light, so I have these two lights set off at 45 degrees, and it's catching on the metal bars here, so you're seeing those shadows, which would be solved with a kind of a referred to as a key light, but I broke mine. That's why you didn't see it in the last place, was because you have 3 lights. If you really want to step it up, you can go to a 4-light system, like one for your hair. There is a hair light, so you want 2 offset, 1 kind of in front of you, and then you have 1 in the back that's like kind of hidden, and that's for your hair. It adds a little bit of depth. It adds a little bit of structure. So I'll probably end up going to 4 lights, and right now I'm at half of that. I am at 2 lights. So I want to figure that out. I don't want this white wall anymore. I want to do something. They do now make higher end tapestries, which is kind of interesting. My wife was just telling me about it. And whenever I hear tapestry, I just feel like I'm thinking of that pothead in college rather than like higher quality stuff. A Hulk Hogan poster, obviously we need that. A neon sign, the Matt Kohrs show. I was thinking about something like that, or something like NASDAQ Cowboy, something in those worlds. Like, so I like that, but it's still, what would that be hanging on? And I'm thinking like something wooden, and maybe we get a nice plant, maybe a rare plant, and we see how long we can grow it. Maybe Ned 3.0, like a gigantic plant. So we're gonna make it awesome. We're gonna make it a kind of like a man cave type of vibe in here where we're all trading together. So like I said, give me about a week. We're gonna figure it out. There are 4 lights, basically hooligan, I don't know, a carnivorous plant, like a giant Venus flytrap or something like that. You never know. Sky's the limit in here. We could just, maybe every single week we just add another plant until it becomes far too cumbersome. Like we just plants and plants and plants and plants and plants. Maybe. People trashing a 4K monitor is hilarious. Wait, why are people trashing it? Isn't that like kind of an upper end computer right now? Or excuse me, not computer, monitor. Why would someone be trashing it? I mean, across the board, not just for streaming and I guess general monitors, but also specifically for trading, those 4Ks from Dell are like super highly rated. Why are people shitting on it? Am I missing something? I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to spend this money. I don't want to spend the money if you guys are telling me it's bad, but like all the research I've done thus far was kind of suggesting that's the way to go. Am I missing something about this one? It's absolutely okay. I'm confused because people are saying other people are shitting on it, but like everything I'm reading is telling me that's the way to go. So please, like, help your boy save some money if I'm wrong on this one. Ultra wide, I don't like going ultra wide, but that's more of a personal preference. How about a 2K monitor giveaway? I need 2 more 4Ks. Bro, I need them too. I'm at the point of not having them at all right now. I'm at the point of not, okay, now other people are chirping up saying that these are actually fine. 4K is the way. Insignia is best. I'm hearing the Dell 4Ks are the highest rated ones right now. That's what I'm hearing. You're the first one that was believe in what you read. You know, that is me. That's a me problem. Get 6 or 7K. Is that a thing? They make 6 or 7K monitors now? You guys are blowing my mind. M28, you are affordable now. 4K, 144 hertz, 1 ms response. Dell 4K is badass. Dell 6K. Get what you want. I don't know what I want. I'm relying on you guys to tell me what I want. You need the 240 hertz so you can get the data fast. I don't know about that, but I am stoked to tell you I finally do have 2 gig internet. Where my mom's basement is, it's like a test area where Fios is doing 2 gig. So I am hardline right into 2 gig and I am so stoked. It's at the point where I think it's so fast that like I'm lucky that my computer has the internet card to be able to handle it, but I don't even know if the rest of my system is running at the ability to truly utilize the 2 gig internet. I think the next thing I need to update is my chip, because right now I think I'm running on a 3080 or 3090 and it feels like I need to upgrade to like a 4080 or maybe even the next level. So I think I need a new GPU to kind of handle some of the stuff that I'm doing in here. So there's many things I need to figure out. I need to figure out the mount system. I need to figure out the 2 monitors that I want to add into the current setup. I need to figure out the lights. I need to figure out the background. I need to figure out what carnivorous plants to be purchasing. I need to figure out a switch in terms of my internet switch, because the way that the builders built this building, it was a little bit silly. I did just buy Wi-Fi extender, so I knew that. I need to buy a printer for the first time ever since like middle school. I've never been in the printer market in the like last 2 decades, so I need to figure that one out. So I don't know. It feels like there's a lot to do. Matt, is it fiber to house or fiber to coax? No, see, that's what's crazy, dude. This we're really getting on a tangent here. There is coaxial in this house, but the builder hit it in the wall. We cannot find the coax. So unfortunately, it's fiber directly into the house, which means I only have 2 hot lines, and there is coax. I go to the garage and there's 6 to 8 coax lines. The issue is no one can find where they're going to. The amount of little plugs I took off the wall to see if the coax was right behind it would blow your mind. So to answer your question, yes, the house has coax. No, I cannot find the coax because the builder is intentionally trying to ruin my life. So that's the point that I'm at. So I'm going to have to get like a switch in here for all the computers that are hardline. Other than that, I have like a mesh network system for the Wi-Fi in the center of the house. But dude, it's blowing my mind. It's absolutely blowing my mind that there is coax. I just cannot access it. So blows my mind. All right, folks, I do appreciate you being here on this beautiful Tuesday. The market was a little bit, I guess technically the futures market was open yesterday, but for most of us, the market was closed yesterday. The futures market had a half day. So obviously in observation of, they're now calling it Washington's birthday. When I was growing up, I'm old enough to remember that we called it President's Day, but for whatever reason, whatever holiday you want to call it, the stock market, the options market was closed yesterday. The futures market had a half day. And then obviously, of course, crypto was open because it is always open. The Matt Kohrs Show, I never received my Vanquish account from Payday Friday. Please help. Just DM me. I will help you. You have to follow them on Twitter so they can DM you. But just shoot me a DM on Twitter and I'll help you right after the show. No big deal. So yes, happily we'll take care of that. Like I said, just DM me on Twitter, DM me on Discord, or email me contact@goonieTrading.com, and I will personally assist you with it. Spot gamma worth it? I think spot gamma is really worth it. You know what? Here, give me the next 10 minutes to prep you guys up for the show, and then we could come back to a little bit of this mini AMA. That's good. Fiber to coax is normally coax from street to house, so you lose the speed. Fiber to the house is good. Cat6 to computer, and you are all set. Mesh is awesome. Yes, shout out to everyone in the Discord helping me so much with that, like the mesh network setup, because it is a little complicated the first time you do it, but it is. I'm stoked about it. I'm really, really stoked. It's just a cool piece of technology, to be completely honest. But anyway, give me a little bit of time here. Give me a little bit of time. We're hitting the buttons. We're not even doing that anymore. Sick. Stock futures fall to start short and weak as tech and software shares slide. There's a couple things I want to highlight to you. Treasury yields move lower as investors look ahead to more delayed data. So right now, if you look at pre-market, things are a little rocky. At one point around 8 a.m., we did sweep the low from Friday. I know if you look at the futures market, you're going to have a bit more data from the half day yesterday, but I do want to bring your attention to the fact that we swept it. Maybe we're getting a little bit of a recovery, but the thing that's jumping out to me is this. Look at all the negative gamma. Remember, negative gamma is not bullish or bearish. Please think of it as slippery price action. We have a lot of distance to slip to the upside, and we have a lot of distance to slip to the downside. The first time I'm really seeing positive gamma is above 6,900. So other than, and actually, I guess below 6,650. What is this? What is it? Yeah, 6,650. So right now, for today, we can fairly say you should be prepared for quite a bit of range, quite a bit of movement, because 6,900 to 6,650 is very much fair game with all that negative gamma. And then I also want to point out stability is 8%. So once again, it's another reflection of volatility and the amount of negative gamma. And there's many ways we could dive into this. But here's the TLDR as we have 8 minutes to go until the market opens. I wouldn't necessarily be bullish or bearish. As I'm going to show you, the data is kind of favoring the bears at this moment in time. I would say I'm neutral leaning bearish, but I would more so say just get ready for larger ranges. So please be prepared for that. And we're seeing movement across the board, whether you're looking at equities or as this article is referring to, you can see movement in the dollar and yields. So dollar starting to pick up, which means yields are going to be dropping. So bonds up, dollar up, yields down. So quite a bit of movement. And I do also want to remind you, because we didn't do the update video yesterday, where we're at in terms of seasonality. The second half of February, really into the first third of March, from a seasonal perspective, based on the last 20 years worth of information, it does favor the bears. So please keep that in mind. If we look at the last 5 years worth of information, the week we're about to start is a little bullish. If you look at the last 3 years of information, a little bullish. And then it's the 2 weeks after that on both the 3-year and the 5-year, looking at the S&P 500, that it's a little bit more bearish. So please keep that in mind. This time around, the things that are going to be impacting it, as that article was referring to, is the major macroeconomic events. So today, Tuesday the 17th, there's nothing really scheduled. But for Wednesday the 18th, durable goods orders in the morning. And then at 2 p.m. Eastern, once again, this is for tomorrow, FOMC meeting minutes. It's not an FOMC meeting, it's the meeting minutes, the details of the meeting from the last one. So maybe we're going to hear a little bit about the drama and that type of stuff. So please keep that in mind. Thursday, manufacturing numbers going to be important this time around. And then the real show is going to be Friday, the February 20th, this Friday. Inflation report, GDP report, manufacturing, and new home sales all Friday morning. And I believe we're also getting some Michigan numbers. So Friday, even though today is going to be a little bit more quiet on the data side, I think it's going to be crazy on the trading side. But from the data perspective, it picks up throughout the week, with Friday being kind of like that crown jewel. Don't forget, we're still in earnings season. Granted, quite a bit of it has slowed down. The major ones you're going to probably want to pay attention to this week is Walmart. In terms of large companies, John Deere is also there. Lemonade, Klarna, I know some of you are trading those. One of my favorite ever, Texas Roadhouse, is going to be reporting Thursday. And then Open Door, another retail favorite. That's just obviously, it's pretty evidently a pump and dump. So pay attention to that one as well. But in terms of big companies, Walmart is the one top 10 company reporting this week. And then I believe next week is when we're going to be hearing from NVIDIA. So I wanted to put that on everyone's radar. Goldman Sachs plans to scrap DEI criteria for its board. Race and sexual orientation and other DEI factors will no longer be taken into account when the board's governance committee identifies new potential directors. So we've been kind of watching this, that slowly but surely the world is at one point very, very accepting of DEI, and now it's doing the exact opposite. It is, quote unquote, scrapping it. So Goldman Sachs following suit with many other large recognized companies stepping away from DEI. Anthropic got an 11% user boost from its OpenAI bashing Super Bowl ad, according to data. So Anthropic, obviously a major competitor in this world of the AI race right now, getting a sizable boost. I mean, I saw the ad, I saw ChatGPT's, which is obviously OpenAI's, Anthropic's. It's going to be more on the Claude side, but I guess viewers have made their opinion heard, and apparently just respect to Super Bowl ads doing a bit better there. Thought that was interesting, wanted to share it with you. Here's how much athletes at the 2026 Winter Olympics get from winning medals. I found this to be very surprising. I came across it this morning, so I wanted to share it with you. I am a massive fan of the Olympics. I watch them all the time, summer, winter, doesn't matter. I like to pay attention to the best in the world pretty much at anything. So when I show you these numbers of how much they get for winning gold, I think you're going to be surprised in both ways. Coming in at number 3, Malaysia, for winning gold, just over $250,000 USD. Hong Kong, 3/4. We're talking 768,000. And then Singapore, number 1 at $792,000 bonus for winning gold. And if you're curious about the United States, it's coming in 16th spot. They only get 38K. Is anyone like surprised about that? I mean, poor New Zealand here. For bronze, New Zealand, you get $1,000. Dude, that's not even going to cover your airfare to get there. That's not even going to cover your supplements to be an Olympian competitor. $1,000. Think about this. For getting a bronze in Singapore, 197. Compare that to the US, 38. That's over 4 times what you get getting bronze in Singapore than you do for the United States getting gold. Kind of blows my mind. And in terms of medals, who's winning right now, this is the current standing. Norway is dominant, 13 golds, and in total they have 29 medals. Italy is coming in at 8 golds with 23 medals, and then you right here you have the United States, 6 golds and 19 medals in general. So the number 1, 2, and 3 spot is pretty well set. Like there's like, we're just clearly in third. Overall Olympics, we are in the bronze place situation, which is kind of sad for us. I mean, dude, I thought we were going to be a little bit better at it, but who knows? There's still basically a full week of the Olympics rocking it, so we're going to see how that ends up playing out. Just wanted to share that with all of you guys. Obviously, we're getting very, very close to market open, and if you guys can quickly vote, quickly vote. We could do a market open trade, web trader. Let me log in. Please don't look at my password. I need you guys to vote very, very quickly. Where are we currently trading? We are currently trading at 6815. So we are basically where my cursor is over here. We are set to open roughly in this zone. Down, bear, ups. I need more of you to vote, and I need you guys to really pick it up in terms of speed. I need you guys to vote and vote. Bear open. Bears. I think the Bears are slightly winning. You guys are slow to respond, but I think the Bears are slightly ahead. All right, so we're going to do 10 right at market open. Let's get a little bit of background music to set this man cave type of vibe. I do have time. I hope I have time. We're going to find out. Should we play a little bit of Toby Kohrs today? A little bit of Toby Kohrs, a little bit of rock, a little bit of, let's get a little bit of Toby Kohrs. Is that coming through? All right, that should, I just want to make sure the audio levels are properly, okay, they are properly balanced. Audio check. All right, let's see if Toby Kohrs brings us to the promised land. We have some puts right at open. What's the time? I mean, I'm smashing the market. You guys voted puts. We're right at VWAP. We're right at equilibrium. This is a pretty ballsy bet from you folks, but we'll see how it plays. I'm going to execute this trade in about 8 seconds. All right. 3, 2. Oh, go. 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 There we go. It took me a little bit to get in. All right. Close with single order. Fill 22. Well, that's not good. 24. Feel like I got a bad fill on that one. Feels like I got a pretty bad fill on that one, folks. Oops. Oops. Feels like I got a pretty bad fill. We need a miracle turnaround for this to not smash my face right now. To be fair, for those of you who voted bullish, you were right. I would have already locked in. Come on. Unless it wants to quickly pop up here. Unless it wants to quickly pop all the way up here. Maybe we need something a little bit more energetic to really get this one going. Let's see what Tendies and Tunes have to offer. Dude, are you guys going to blow out another account on me? Oh, brother. Oh, brother. This song might be appropriate. It's going to get blown out. It's not going to have that much more room. Not good, team. Not good. All right. That's coming through, right? Okay, what if I do this button? Why is that not full computer share? Why is this not sharing my entire? Why is that not working? Chrome share. Hang on, something is broken. It needs to be. Hang on. I know it's dark. I know we're all a little scared right now. I'm trying to figure out why it's not display capture, window capture, share monitor. All right, I need to do that. Main monitor. All right, I know it's dark. I know it's scary. Okay, so this okay, I think we're good. So you guys can see the full thing right now. Okay, I did take some trades early this morning. This was my 8 a.m. trade. For those of you who are maybe a little bit curious about what's going on with Apex, I have not heard back. I did reach out to some people in the past who have, I suppose, been in a similar situation of requesting a large payout, and I've been hearing it could take anywhere from 2 to, I mean, I heard some people all the way up to 6 weeks, 5 weeks. So somewhere between, let's just call it 1 and 5 weeks seems to be like the general thing. Some people were quicker, the quickest end being 1 week. The longest one I heard of was like 5 to 6 weeks. So maybe I should say the responses I've gotten, which there's honestly not many people who have been in a similar situation to where I am, have been anywhere from 1 to 6 weeks. So I am in week 2. If we hit, as of tomorrow, I'm at 2 weeks. So that's why you're not seeing any Apex accounts right here, because my Apex accounts are currently frozen. But I am trading on Take Profit. I am trading on Lucid. I am trading on FFN while I await the decision from Apex. If you guys are just joining in right now wondering what decision is Matt waiting on from Apex, I'm waiting to see if I'm going to get $1 million payout. One singular payout of $1 million buckaroos, not counting the previous payouts that I've been already like in my bank account secure. So I'm attempting to be the first person, one single payout of $1 million live streaming the entire thing. I don't believe it's ever been pulled off before. I don't believe someone's done it. Obviously, please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I did quite a bit of searching on the subject matter, and I did not find another person who live streamed the entire thing. I know there's some people who are like, well, I did it, and I was like in this Discord. Nope, that doesn't count in my book. We're talking about a public free live stream. Apple, whoa, what's going on with Apple? What's moving right now? All right, a little bit of a pop there. Apple's one of the few green things I'm seeing. What about Bitcoin? Not much. What about like silver? Ooh, silver's down 4%. What's the daily chart looking like on silver? Breaking down. You clearly have some lower highs right there. All right. Paying attention to this overall. I'm not in a silver play. I just have it up in case you guys happen to be. Gold still holding its cloud. It was a fresh high there, but I guess obviously you might want to be paying attention to 4670. Like I said, this is a little too high octane, a little too crazy for me. I'm not necessarily the biggest gold and silver trader. I get why with these recent rips people have been trading it. No shame on you. Hey, if you're trading it the right way, you can make a lot of money, and you can make a lot of money quickly. So no shame over there. This is breaking down. So I don't like that SPX is below the cloud, but it's also below the 50 EMA, and it had a couple closes recently there. Not so bullish in my book. In fact, it's uniquely bearish. And then when I look at the tech sector, it's even weaker. Once again, I'm talking on the daily chart. We can switch to intraday in a second. I just want to let some time like actually play out here, get more data in the market. But we have lower highs, we have lower lows. We're below the cloud, we're below the 50 EMA. Looking at the daily chart, this is bearish. Now, obviously, just because you see something on the daily chart, that doesn't necessarily mean it's true intraday. Obviously, just from market open to this moment, I see higher highs, I see higher lows, I see obviously bullishness. 5-minute is currently bullish, 10-minute is currently bullish, 30-minute is actually trying to push bullish. That's interesting. A little fake out breakdown there. Let's set up some of these alerts. 4-hour, so 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute bullish. Technically, the 30-minute, we do have to wait another 23 minutes. Looking at the NASDAQ, 5-minute is bullish, 10-minute is bullish, 30-minute is pushing bullish, 4-hour is still evidently bearish. Let me switch myself over here so you guys can see that a little bit better. So I'm seeing some strength. We're seeing some strength over there. That's the 15-second. We don't necessarily need that. That's a little crazy. In terms of the key levels, this is where I'm at. Actually, I do need to update something over here. Where are we at? Thick thoughts. I forgot to hit enter. Give us more info. All right. Everything is posted there. Hang on. It looks like I'm getting some messages in Discord. All right. I think we're looking pretty good. What do we... It got us over to a lo-fi thing. Hang on. Let's get a little bit. Playlists. Where's the rock one? Maybe we need rock to wake up a little bit. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Out of the gate, let's look at the flow over here. I think it goes without saying, but YOLOing those puts at open did not pay. But at least we're up on futures for right now, and I haven't done any of my premium selling. If you want to trade with me, GooneyTrading.com. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot or ask other members who are in there if they think it's worth it or not. Right now, the Goonie trading community has been on an absolute tear, like absolutely destroying it. So if you want to trade with me, there's some education in there. There's some bot stuff in there. There's live chat of traders in there throughout the entire trading day. It's not an alert thing. If you're just looking to piggyback off other people's alerts, I would say this is not for you. But if you want to trade with me and kind of get access to some of those other things, like I said, check out GooneyTrading.com. I'm definitely seeing some bulls. Hang on. I do love this extra monitor. It allows me to see so much right away without having to switch stuff. I love it. I love it. I love it. I do need to switch it up a little bit though, or I'm going to like break my neck. All right, so we have that. That's looking good. The only thing that I'm wondering about is how can I easily show you guys Bookmap? I want to set up a hotkey where, because for the options flow, I just switched to this and we could see the full screen. But what if I want to do Bookmap? What's the best way to show you guys Bookmap? Hey, there's Piper. What are you saying? Do you like the new setup? Any opinions? Well, dude, she did not do well. Actually, to be fair, at this point, she, I would say for about an hour or two every single night, she is like just screaming. She just walks around and looks in the rooms and she's like, okay, this is a room. And she just does one really loud meow and then she'll walk to another room and then that's a really loud meow. Like she just, I don't know. It's crazy. But she'll settle in. Cats, they need to, I suppose, understand their new territory and whatnot. So that's the point that we're at. Figures I traded MNQ and not NQ on a beast of a trade. Hey, if you caught that pump, Gem, congrats to you. But remember, it's all about sticking to your plan. Mag 7 is popping. Spy is popping. Oh, brother. What time is it? It is 9:40. So we do have this. Hang on. I want to pre-market highs and lows. All right, it's always good to track the full overnight session and get an idea of how big those ranges are. Commonly solid target levels. So this was obviously the high. We hit it around 4 in the morning. And the question is will this little 10-minute orbital breakout, 15-minute orbital, 30, will that bring us all the way up to the high, which is roughly 920, which is a solid 100 whatever points from here. I'll take a stab at it.
Order submitted.
I'll take a stab at it. Taking a long position. Why? I see the Mag 7 option. Shout out to SpotGam. Remember, 80% off using that link pinned to the top of chat. But I could see Mag 7 is getting a pretty decent bid since 9:30. I can see the SPY is getting a bid. So overall, what am I doing? I'm seeing that options are bullish. The delta is increasing. 5 minutes bullish, 10 minutes bullish, 30 minutes bullish. Technically, the 30-minute hasn't closed yet, and I am looking for a successful close above. So let's wait on that. 4-hour is bearish. So I'm finding a little bit of a trend here on the 4-hour. NQ, 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, seemingly bullish. 5-minute and 10-minute definitely are. And I'm waiting to see if this 30-minute is actually going to close. But once again, we have to wait 18 minutes on that. And similar to ES, similar to the S&P 500, the 4-hour is favoring the bear. So maybe it's a trend reversal. I'm really not risking that much. I am a little bit nervous of if it wants to retouch VWAP, but I'm long around 800. And what am I looking for? Well, I'm looking basically just to see if SPX is actually going to hold this right here. SPX on Friday, not yesterday. The S&P 500 on Friday closed at 6836. I waited for the pop, the pullback. I saw a little bit of strength and I try to take the trade. Maybe it fails. Maybe this is actually a little fake out, but I liked how it revisited it and popped, but it is unfortunately getting hit now. Just trying to trade with trend. Once again, I'm really not risking a whole heck of a lot here. Where are we on the 1 minute? VWAP is 670 and that's a little bit more than I want to be doing, so I might have to play a little bit of a tighter range here. Bookmap. Okay, I need to figure out how the best way to show you guys Bookmap. The best way to show you guys Bookmap would be how. Hang on one second. I guess I should first pay attention to this trade. I'm wondering if this low here at 745 is going to hold. If it snaps, I might need to bail. Q's clearly getting smashed at their closing value. So the SPY did overshoot it. This white horizontal line is the closing value. All right, we need a different playlist. This is not the right vibe right now. SPY overshot it. That's what I was attempting to play. Instead, the Q's just getting completely demolished. Are we coming back to VWAP? Let's see. 5 minute and 10 minute are attempting to hold 5 and 10. 30 is a little questionable. I really want this to hold 700. Not only is it just a key psychological level, but if you look at the 30-minute 50 EMA, it's pretty much 700. And then 674, 673 is VWAP, the volume weighted average price. I was hoping that this would get a push to 850, but no, we snapped right there. That is not good. That is not good. Which brings up the question, why am I holding this long? I guess there's somewhat of an argument for you could attempt to hold it if it bounces off a VWAP, but then by that logic, I should have just waited for a VWAP retest and gone long there rather than trying to play that continuation. That would have been a higher quality trade, a higher quality decision. We do have the low from 2 days ago at 6824. We have a key gamma level at 6820. I am looking over here and seeing Bookmap get beat up. We're at VWAP right now on NQ. So we're at roughly the intraday low on SPX. Obviously, the next test from here would be 6,800 flat, which is pretty much the top of the transition zone. We're at VWAP on NQ, which is 674. So I know we're super zoomed in here, but hey, gives us more action. So we had a nice pop, higher highs, higher lows, and then it just all started to break down at 942. And look at this. It was bullish until about 941 on the Mag 7 flow. So the first 10 minutes, first 12-ish minutes, kind of a brutal fake out thus far because things were out of the gate strong. And then, like I said, depending on which exact data set you are looking at, I'm just showing you right here. The bullishness lasted for about 10 to 12 minutes. And then it just got smashed, absolutely smashed. And right now we're roughly back to equilibrium. Right here, you can see the 5 minute back to equilibrium, 10-minute equilibrium, same on the 5 and the 10, just showing you the similarities in ES and NQ. You have NQ right at VWAP. Once again, I'm curious, are you guys buying? Show your loss. I'm live in the trade. It's not realized yet, but I'm long at 800 as I was explaining to you already. I mean, I literally announced it when I got in, and you would have heard it if I traded more because you can hear it. The sound's on. But I'm just looking at VWAP to see if it can bounce off of it. If it doesn't hold a VWAP, I'll cut it. Pretty basic. Pretty basic. Like I said, the thing that I'm a little concerned about is this 30-minute. It was a giant wick up, but it's seemingly getting smashed here. So I'm kind of watching this zone. To me, not only just from the psychological point of people trading at 700, but it's kind of aligning with this because if it keeps going, the 5 will switch bearish. The 10 can switch bearish. What is that low? The low is 605. Well, I don't want to be in it all the way till then at all. Dude, how bad is this going to... Do I want to switch here? Do I want to switch or do I just want to cut? Look at that. The tale of two stories. Ripping for the first 12 minutes, smashed. Ripping for the first... Wow.
Order
I
filled.
just killed it. I got out of the long because we're not holding VWAP. I was using that as my support, and now we're pushing below. In fact, this delta sell-off is getting so bad that I might be finding... Well, I'm looking for a bearish position if I could get in. If I can get in. But I don't want to necessarily chase it because looking at the 5-minute and the 10-minute, we're right at the cloud, so maybe buyers step in. I just couldn't risk it continuing to fall. I should have cut it earlier if we're going to be self-critical of like a better quote-unquote trading decision. I definitely should have cut it earlier. What would that be? 80. What is this risk? 712. What is that? Am I okay with risking? Bigger ranges today for sure. All right, if this little pop, so we were testing VWAP from the top side, coming down into it. Bounce off of VWAP on NQ as we're now retesting. So we're seeing a bit of a pop right here. A bit of a pop right here. I'm looking for a short. I'm just waiting for Icarus to fire an actual short signal. Should have stayed bearish. Hang on. Icarus just fired. All right, Icarus fired. I'm taking the trade. So I am short at 638. 638. And obviously, I will let you know when I move my risk to break even. I want to do a freebie trade and see if we can get some money here. Where are we at, though? Oh, we full tripped it. I mean, we bounced. Look at this. This is crazy. On NQ, we've gone from 24,606 to 24,816. So 210 points all the way back down to 200 points. So 200 points up, 200 points down, all done within the first 20 minutes of the day. And I'm watching the pivot at VWAP, which is 672. So we're right back up at it. And the question is it going to hold? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. And the real question is, do I want to add if we do continue to break down here? Oh, do I want to add at a VWAP rejection? What time is it? It's 9:50. I need to be a little bit cognizant about the turn of the hour. I could add here and move the first one to break even. That might. I just hit the sell button and nothing happened, so now I'm a little nervous. Oh shit, I can't move my orders. They're frozen. Fuck. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? All right, here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing frozen orders. I'm seeing orders, cancel
Order
all,
canceled.
cancel all orders. What do I do? I'm frozen out. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
Order filled.
All right. It just awkwardly gave me a much later shit. All right. I think my only option is disconnect and reconnect. Fuck. FFN. We're having some issues. I don't know which
Order
one.
filled.
I'm on rhythmic. Where are we at? Come on. What's up, Piper? Yes, I am having a really bad data connection right now. I don't know where we're at. As long as it doesn't exceed what's working, what's not working. It's still not loading. I don't know if these numbers are right or wrong. It's updating sporadically. I have both rhythmic and Tradeovate data. So it seems like I'm having issues with both. Are any of you having issues? Also having data issues here? What's weird is it's not like this. Fuck. Is it working? Piper, what's up? You know, we're all having bad mornings. I don't know. Nothing. It's just this chart's not loading for me. Can I kill? There we go. Okay, I think I'm back. I think I'm back. I think I'm live. I think I'm back. I think I'm live. I think I should be good now. Maybe. All right. So I am short 2, as you can see, and I'm short at 611. One of them got a horrible fill at 585. I was trying to short it up here at 637. I tried to get a fill there and then another one. So here are the 2 fills. And because of the data issue, you can see that I have a massive differential. I should be short 2 up here, but there was that awkward delay on the other one. And I suppose this is just where I am at. All right, let's figure out how to properly manage this. Short. All right, so
Order
we're already
submitted.
protecting ourselves on one, or at least I am. I'm short 2. I put a stop at break even on one of them. And you know what? Let's tag.
Order
All right,
submitted.
just because things are getting a little bit sketchy here, I'm trying to do better management. I'm trying to lock in one at 500 and one's already stops at break even at 611. So that's unfortunate, but sometimes it just is what it is. It is what it is. And sometimes you just have to take it in stride. All right, so what is this low? This low is low, 518. Ooh, okay, that might be a better level to target. Let's switch it over to the 100 tick so we can properly watch this. So 518 is the overnight session low. 518, right here. This is going to be a key area to watch. 518, that's what we hit low overnight, this blue horizontal line. So I want to see, right now, according to Bookmap, we do not have buyers lining up there yet. But let's see. Let's see. Come on. Let's front run this by 5 points. Let's front run it by 1 point. All right, so I'm trying to get a fill. I am short 2. I'm trying to get a fill at 501. I am watching this overnight low, though. All right, we're at it right now. Come on, is it going to bounce? I see a lot of buyers at 500. So let's run this up to 505. 503. Come on. There's a lot of buyers at 500. Give me my fill.
Order,
all right,
order
cool.
filled.
So we locked in one. Good to go. Pretty much got ourselves out of the hole. The other one is stop at break even. Remember, this is first in, first out, so it updates a little bit awkwardly. But you know what? Just for psychology purposes, I'll move that stop to break even. Now we have a freebie trade. You know what? Who's that one guy that kept telling me to share it, and I'm lying? I would like to dedicate that trade. Hang on. I set up for this circumstance.
You getting mad? I'm getting rich. You getting mad? I'm getting rich.
I'd like to dedicate that little sound bit there to the motherfucker who told me that I'm lying and not trading and need to share my screen. Sucks to be you, dude. You know what? Hang on.
Here comes the money.
There we go, Scooter. Oh, this is still frozen over here. Shit. I think my screen's frozen again. Oh, wow, it's completely frozen the data. Hello. Dude, something is going up with the data providers today. I have both Rhythmic and Tradeovate. And something sketch. Am I back? Am I live? Dude, do I just need to kill this? I don't know what's going on with this data. That's not loading. Is it loading? Piper, we can all hear you screaming. What? Why are we crying? How much am I down by? I might just move my stop to that high. Piper, what's up? All right, I'm moving my stop here to guarantee that I make money today. You know what? I'm going to do it to... Piper, you're really, really interrupting the show right now. We can all hear you just ripping it over there. What are you doing? This cat's gone crazy on me. She's gone full-on loco insano. So no matter what, 650... So no matter what, stop is going to make sure that I'm green on the day. And if it keeps going, I need to figure out the level. All right, so that is losing over there. Oh, brother, oh, mother. What levels? What's my reach target? So you have 402, and then the ultimate reach target is something like that. What do we have? All right, so in terms of technical levels, we're watching Piper. Don't knock that out. Stop. Piper, stop it. Piper, get out of there. Piper. God would not give me anything I couldn't handle. What am I watching? 425 and 239.75. You know what we're going to do? We're going to get a little crazy with this today. You guys can see this target here, 239.75. We're going to front run it. What was it? 239.75.
Order submitted.
All right, we're front running it by a tick. The low that I'm seeing in the overnight session from Thursday, February the 5th is 24,239.75. So I put mine in at 24,240. So we're front running it. We don't want to be too greedy. We're just trying to get in. We're trying to get out in a tick too early. Well, it's for safety purposes. So if it runs, oh wait, that's too much money. I'm not allowed to make that much money. Never mind. Okay, I have to worry about the consistency rule. $4,700. All right, that would be my ultimate swing target, but because I have to worry about the consistency rules, I can only go for 24,350. So that's the max I can go for. If the trend changes before then, of course, I'll get out earlier. I'm not saying like I'm only hitting here or I'm only hitting there. Of course, if trend starts to revert, I'm going to get out. I just needed to put this on the screen. Just hang on. You know what? We're going to run that by 1 point. We're going to run it. I'm not going to let it go past 351. 351. I'm not allowed to make that much money. What an evil statement. I understand on the surface level how that sounds crazy, but if you guys have traded with prop firms, you know that they have consistency rules. So at a certain point, if you make too much money in a singular trading session, it can actually really hurt you because then that means that you have to have other sessions that do that well or better. So sometimes there's literally just no extra reward for that financial reward. Like you're literally just taking on extra risk for no reason. Obviously, that doesn't make sense trading your own funded cash account. But with a prop firm, yeah, obviously there are consistencies. Are you not trading funded? No, these are funded accounts. I'm saying these funded accounts still have consistency rules, or at least some of them do. I'm not necessarily saying they all do. But I mean, this is kind of like a well-known, this isn't like hang on, it might knock me out here. Let's zoom in. This isn't some like wild unknown thing that's going on. Like my statement, anyone in here who's traded with prop firms in excess of like 1 week understands exactly what I'm talking about. This isn't some like giant reveal of like, oh my God, there's consistency rules. Like I said, many of you in here knows that you have to deal with it. The question is, do I want to add to this position? That's the real question at this point. That's the real question is, do I want to add on this breakdown? I might.
Order submitted.
All right. Stops for both of these plays. All right, we are targeting the intraday low on one. I added to the position. Stop is this swing high, and it's really rather rudimentary. I'm just playing on, we don't need this anymore.
Order canceled.
I just need lower highs and lower lows, and as long as that trend continues, great, I'm in the play. If we buck that trend and all of a sudden we get a fresh high, as in it's breaking the height of the previous highs, and especially on the higher low, well, I'm going to get out. So right now, my stops are in the money, so no matter what, I'm making money. The question is just how much money. That's the only leftover question, and I know there's going to be a gazillion people out there who are trying to pitch you on this concept of they know where the market's going to go and blah, 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 blah. They don't. No one in this world with high accuracy. I mean, it's going to be,
Order
all right,
filled.
so knocked out. See how we took out that high? I was riding this trend as long as I could. So just riding it down and down and down. Actually, I was more so doing it on the 1 minute. But you can see right here how this pop took out all the previous highs. That was the main thing. I wanted to see how long I could run it down. And unfortunately, there was a bit of a data issue in here, but ride it route, like looking at this high, this high, this high. Well, okay, on that push, I got out because we now have a fresh high. So if it does revert here, I don't want to be involved. And if it's a little bit of a fake out and maybe you could see it a little bit better. I mean, I don't really trade off the 100 tick, but maybe you could see it a little bit better here. If this starts to revert back down, I could always get back in. There is no pattern day trading or anything like that when it comes to the world of trading futures. So I tried to get in right here. That was very reasonable. Failed breakout. Guess what? Made a fresh high. I got out because you just don't know. This could be a huge recovery all the way up to maybe the 50% retracement on the current day's range, or it could be a fake out and we break down. So in one situation, I'm avoiding getting hurt. And in the other situation, I just get right back in. It's all risk management. It's not a game of prediction. It's a game of reaction. If you've been here at all, you've heard me say that. I probably sound like a broken record. I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but it's like literally that is the only thing that active trading is. If you want to talk about investing, this, that, or the other thing, yeah, that's fair in terms of looking at fundamentals and PE ratio and margins. But in terms of active trading, day trading, scalp trading, swing trading, it's literally just a game of, are you keeping your risk in control? Are you sticking to your trading system? 10 a.m. reversal. Chris, you're not wrong. That is another thing that's going on in the back of my mind of we at a fresh hour, it might be a reversal. Right here, we're seemingly making a bottom at 10 a.m. and 2 seconds. So that's in the back of my mind. I mean, many times we've seen 10 a.m. reversals. So that's just another reason of, oh, okay, like get out. I mean, how much was I in the hole? I was in the hole 3K, I want to say, and now I'm basically break even. I'm slightly red, so obviously taking advantage of the situation to gigantically get out of the hole that I was in. And guess what? If it pops, I'll play that. If it breaks down, I'll play that. And in the meantime, in terms of will we pop or not, let's try to get a better idea. Mag 7 did pop for the first 11 minutes, got hit, and now it's recovering a little. The S&P 500 did pop for the first 12 minutes, got hit, and now it's attempting to recover a little bit. But let's see, is this going to be, hang on.
Order submitted.
Icarus fired, and I wanted to catch that one very, very quickly. Icarus fired. And I wanted to catch that one very quickly. What? 350. Technically, you know what? Let's just let this sit at 400 just in case I miss something. Decrease. I'm just pinning it to a psychological level. Like I said, I care a lot more about my stop than I do my profit target. The profit targets I generally just have up there just to fight with the MAE and whatnot. Oh, quick side note, on Apex, which right now, by the way, Apex is running an 80% off deal. This is the final day. You have 1 day left, 80% off with code Goonie. Great deal to take advantage of. I do want to let you know that they are now going to be very, very serious about the MAE, the maximum adverse excursion, as in how bad is your max unrealized P&L. I am saying your max unrealized P&L, not your realized P&L. If you're allowed to lose, let's just say for the sake of the argument, let's say your realized P&L is down $1,000. Okay, whatever. You're down $1,000. It is very different through the lens of Apex. Did you get there by just one trade and your unrealized P&L ran all the way up to 1,000 and you got knocked out there? Or was it a succession of trades? Maybe 5 trades where you got hit for 200, 200, 200, 200. So once again, the MAE is based exclusively off of your unrealized P&L max value, not your realized P&L max value. MAE, this is like one of the specific rules that obviously everyone should be knowledgeable of. Hang on. It relates to your max unrealized P&L. Very, very important. So the way it works with Apex is it is 30% of your buffer until a certain value. And then as your account grows and grows and grows, then it goes from 30% to 50%. And when I say 30 and 50%, that is how much your unrealized P&L is allowed to be at its maximum value, or you're going to violate MAE. You're going to violate the 30 and or 50% MAE rule. Now, in the past, this has always been a rule. It's not a new rule, but they have new ways of enforcing it, as in kind of like an auto system that tells you if you broke it that day, and you're going to get an email a day or two later if you broke it. And they are working on building this out. Once again, this is specific to Apex. But I do want to let you know that there are people who, hang on. I am tempted. There are people who continually break that rule over and over again. So for continual violators, the punishments will get harsh from the point of they can take away your profits made on that trade. They can take away that trading day. They can put extra requirements on you for you to be able to get a payout. So I just want to let you know that they're starting to take MAE very, very, very seriously, very seriously. And the best way to avoid it, obviously, not only do I want to explain what's going on, I am tempted. Not only do I... Ooh, come on. Do I want this trade? Icarus has been firing here. I want to see if it gets rejected. I want to see if this gets rejected. The easiest way to avoid it is setting up your own ATM strategy so it auto puts in your risk at a level that's acceptable and you don't violate the MAE. So once again, based on your account and based on the percentage, it's either going to be 30 or 50%. You can do the math backwards, basically multiplying that percentage out by your current buffer, and you can use ATM right here, ATM strategy. You can use it to auto set your risk where it's at a level that you're not going to violate MAE. So is the MAA rule a pain in the ass? Yeah, like whatever. It is a pain in the ass. I don't think anyone's like disagreeing with that statement, but it's super, super easy to avoid falling into that pitfall by just literally setting up the ATM. So everyone can do it. So if you start with a fresh 50K account on Apex, when you first start off, your MAE cannot exceed 30% of the 2.5K, which would be $750. So you know what you do is just below $750, set your risk up where it's going to, hang on, it's going to get you out
Order
before
submitted.
that. I think it's actually rather simple.
Order canceled.
Buy stock
Order
market.
submitted.
Hang on. We're managing this
submitted.
trade in real time. What is this low? All right. So we're going to get out at 65. Buy limit.
Order submitted.
All right, you can see I added one on a basic technical breakdown. Icarus was firing in here, but I just wanted to be a little bit more confident. So to be a bit more confident, I waited for the technical breakdown. So my average fill right now is short 2 contracts at 517. I'm trying to take one of those off the table, locking in the profits at 1,037. That would be around 465. I'm just targeting the intraday low, and I'm going to move the other one, the very first one, to break even. How do I want to do this? And I'll leave the risk on the second one. That was a little bit more chasey, 506. Okay, taking on about 40 points of risk on the second one, which is about $800. Things are a bit whippy. It could definitely bounce all the way back up and knock that one out. Unfortunately, this one that's at break even. This was the first short. Do I want to give it room? I am pretty confident in this. The issue is, does it bounce all the way back up? Do I want to use this pivot high at 10.05 as my risk? If it fails here, this one's so easy. See how it would have just barely knocked it out? I would love to actually use this. I just need it to fail below 500 again. I'm giving it a little bit more room just because 500 is obviously going to be a key technical, psychological level right here. 24,500 right there. This blue horizontal line. Let's zoom in here and see how this wants to play out today. Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother, oh. 5-minute bearish, 10-minute bearish, 30-minute bearish, 4-hour bearish. Yes, 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour bearish. So we started off with a little bit of bullish optimism. Obviously, it just did not hold. We started off with a little bit of bullish optimism. What is this low? 425. You know, by that logic, this might be a little bit too conservative. All right, I'm setting this one to... where? I do like this failure at 500. That's what I'm paying attention to. If the market doesn't like it at 500, it could be a vomit all the way to 400. So it's just like, why get out early? Obviously, I'm watching the intraday low here at 476, and I'll react quickly to it. But even this, look at that. We pump below it by 13 points just to pounce right back up. I think I'm too zoomed in. Maybe I'm seeing things that are not there. I'm taking on a little bit too much risk. I would love for it to fail below 475 so I can move one of these to break even. Once again, looking at this, because right now we have lower highs and higher lows. By definition, that's consolidation. So if we take out 475, obviously, especially if we take out 462, I'll be golden to move my stop to break even, just sticking to the system, not doing anything too crazy. Look how bad some of the slippages got today with those weird ass data issues. Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. What is that? I could probably move one of these to break even. I wanted to. It's so close in terms of the chance of it knocking me out. But maybe I shouldn't worry about that. Maybe I should just... 27. Do I just want to take the risk off the table for one of them? It's the smart move. I'm not in love with it because the fill wasn't that good, but for my very first short, remember, I am short 2 at 2 distinct times. The stop is now set to break even on the very first one. I need to take risk off the table. I feel like whenever I get into this mode of talking to you guys of like, oh, should I do it? Should I do it? It feels like overwhelmingly the answer is yes. And like, yeah, knowing my luck, it's going to pop up, knock me off, and then vomit anyway. But it is the proper risk management because 90% of the time, if it does that, you do it to protect yourself from the 10% of the time that it reverses and completely destroys you. So knocked out at break even, like I said, protecting myself. It's just the necessary thing to do because that's risk management. It is just by definition risk management. I would not be playing right now. It's choppy. And remember, choppy is a look at what's been going on. That doesn't tell you what's about to happen. Choppy is a descriptor of price action that's played out. It's not a prediction of where price action's about to be. Price commonly goes from expansion to consolidation, expansion to consolidation, expansion to consolidation. So you calling it choppy, you're basically saying in your perception, I don't need this anymore.
Order canceled.
In your perception, it is consolidating. Okay. My question is, how do you know when it's going to go? ATR is stupid high. You can't predict anything right now. I don't disagree with that. I don't think you could predict anything ever. ATR being high or low, how does that, whenever I ever contested that, that makes it valuable for a prediction. I'm just saying you don't know when price is going from expansion to consolidation, from expansion to consolidation. That's the natural ebb and flow, but it's not like there's hard-coded times for how long it has to expand or consolidate, you just don't know. But so I would be very, very careful with that type of commentary of saying, hey, because it's been choppy, it's going to remain choppy. That's not necessarily true. Obviously, at some point in time, we move from choppy to trendy. And then at another point in time, we move from trendy to choppy. So this idea of, think about it in reverse. If I'm not trading because it's choppy, well, okay, it might go to trendy, but think about it the other way. Imagine if it's trending and you're like, I'm going to trade because it's trendy. Does that mean you're not going to get out if it turns to choppy? You have to understand, at any moment in time, things do change in the market. The market is extremely dynamic. There's always new traders. There's always new reasons to trade. And that's just on the human. Hang on, this is about to knock me out. Is it this blue line? This dash blue line is the 50% retracement for, and it's also VWAP. Yeah, I would say this is the natural target right there. And the 1 minute's breaking out to potentially test it. Do I just want to cut this now at 600? This blue line, let me see if I can show you VWAP, is pretty much also VWAP. This is the equilibrium that I'd be looking for the reaction at. But anyway, back to my original point is the market's always dynamic. You have to react to how things are playing out, not just this arbitrary thing. I find that too many people, and sometimes myself, are like far too steadfast. And they're like, nope, I came up with this one piece of reasoning and I am unwilling to change that. That's not good. Like, you have to be as dynamic. How much room am I? What's this high? What are these highs? That is 6, 7, 8. If it gets rejected here, I'm going to take another short just so you guys know. I'm waiting to see, not only do we react to IB, which is 39, but you could have VWAP, which is 36. So this is a very, very important level, an incredibly important level. Anyway, and I fall for this too, is like sometimes you come up with this idea that like, okay, a certain trade like has to work. It's like, what do you mean it has to? I find that like when you're too rigid, the only thing you should be rigid to in the world of trading is your risk management. Beyond that, you kind of have to just be like, hey, just kind of go with the flow and be like, okay, are things changing? Are they not changing? Like that type of a vibe. But this should be an interesting test level. We're right at VWAP. We're right at the 50% retracement. Technically, we don't have IB yet. The initial bounce is the first hour of trading from 9:30 to 10:30. It's only 10:20, so we have like 10 minutes to go. I only play with 25K accounts with a 15K drawdown. When choppy and high ATR, I get knocked out in no time. So not necessarily just play with MNQs. You just have to size down with your playing. Obviously, the underlying that you're playing has to be relative to the buffer that you have, but still that doesn't negate my statement of the statement of, oh, hang on, is this it? What you're saying does not negate what I'm saying. This idea that because it's choppy and then the assumption that that means it can't all of a sudden become trending. No, I actually wouldn't say today is choppy. I would not describe today as choppy. And generally with high ATR, that actually negates choppiness. Those don't always go together, but it is very rare that you're pointing out a high ATR and also choppy price action. Is it going to bounce off of 600? This is the point of control. Hang on, I need to set up this. Those, they can go together because it just means you're moving a huge range up and a huge range down, but it's just not that common for it to behave in that manner. Not the most common price movement. Is it failing at 600 right off of VWAP? Wow, dude, this is moving.
Order
like no
submitted.
other. I actually want to decrease one of these. I want to handle the risk slightly differently because I wanted to enter earlier, and this is going to now. I think I straddled the timing of this trade pretty poorly. I think I should have either been in here at this breakdown at 610, or I should have waited for the snap of the 1 minute right here. I just didn't. I was a little slow on that one. I was a little slow. I should have been a bit faster or slower. Like, I feel like I was awkwardly in the middle of timing. I should have either been faster or slower, and I picked like the middle, which, whatever. I also trade with 25K, but changing to MNQs, I can afford more flexibility. Yeah, you need flexibility in your trading. So like this idea of putting pressure on yourself to trade an NQ with a 50K account is like really tough, especially with a 25K. I would say it's uniquely difficult with a 50K. So it's borderline impossible, especially on days like this where you could see the context is, I mean, look at, I already showed this to you, but just to drive home the point, look at all that negative gamma. Stability is 2%. So to try to pull off trading an NQ on a 25K account, it requires a lot more luck than skill. Like, you just need to get lucky that the second you trade, it goes in your favor and you don't somehow get blown out or violate the MA. Basically, you're saying the second you trade, it's just going to keep going in your favor. So there's a lot more luck involved than anything else in that like particular setup. So like, and yeah, you might get lucky. Like, luck is an aspect of trading. Luck's an aspect of blackjack and poker and anything that has unknown variables and like variance that has to be respected. Like, that's like literally just an aspect of the game. Or you can give yourself a little bit more of a wiggle room and allow your skill to shine by trading something smaller so you can overcome variance. Obviously, from just like a math standpoint, the you can survive more variance the smaller your relative bet. And obviously, what would this level be? You know what? We're going to get a little bit crazy here, and we're going to move this one down to 91. You can withstand more variance the smaller your relative bet. So if you're bringing up a valid point of like, right now it's crazy. There's a lot of movement. I have a 25K and I don't want to trade NQ. I agree with you. I don't think you should be trading NQ right now on that account when you don't have much buffer whatsoever. I think that is a very fair mathematical, descriptor of the situation for sure. So you have options. You either you don't trade at all, you trade MNQ, or you size up your account. Those are pretty much the options available to you. MES moves literally the same as MNQ. That's not true. One is tracking the S&P 500 and one is tracking the NASDAQ. Not to be like that nerdy finance trader statistician dude. Yeah, they're highly correlated, but remember, the S&P 500 ES is the futures contract for the S&P 500, and Q is the futures contract for the NASDAQ. They are correlated because the underlying companies that have the most weight in the NASDAQ and in the S&P 500, there is a pretty large overlap, but there's also key differences. For example, all of the financial plays in the S&P 500, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citi, all of those have no influence on the NASDAQ. So if the thing moving the market that day is either good or bad news related to the financial sector, well, you might or might not be seeing that in the NASDAQ because financial plays are not in the NASDAQ. I think that's a very important thing. So I don't know if you're meaning that like from a scientific perspective of like they are exactly the same thing, or if you're kind of just saying that in like the figurative sense. So in the figurative sense, yes, they are highly correlated. In the literal sense, no, they are not exactly the same. Just to clarify to like new people. How much do you place per trade? This is a futures contract, so it's not exactly like that at all. But I am trying to lock in a profit of $1,000 over here. And actually, I'm going to be a dickhead and move it up to 1,250. I'm going to move the stop on that trade to break even. I took a trade right here at 1022. So I got out of that one, and then I have a different one down here. So trying to lock in one of these. So one of my shorts, I have to short right here. The way, see how it's red? That means you're short. And the fact that it's 2 means I have 2 short contracts on the NQ futures. So 2 short contracts on NQ. Bearish bet. You can see the little purple magenta caret. That's where I entered the short. I entered one here at 1012. I entered another one 10 minutes later at 1022. So the average fill is 542. One of them is short at 78. That one's already at break even. The second one, right where my cursor is, this is now a risk-free trade for me because the stop's at break even. But obviously, I'm still taking on risk on this other one where I'm short at 506. I tried to take this breakdown. It worked for a second. It blew up in my face, and I ended up getting knocked. I was short 2 there at one point. Bounce back up. The other one, this one's working somewhat well, at least for now. It's getting somewhat close, so that's not the most comfortable thing, but we're going to see. We're going to see. Like I said, what is this? Maybe I want to move it to... All right. On this one, I'm moving it a little bit in the money just to ensure that that second contract actually makes me a little bit. Just once again, improving my risk management. Like I said, it was short here at 78.50. So I moved it down to 71. So no matter what, I'm making $7, 7 points, which is $140. If you want to give it a bit more room, you could risk 600. You could risk 642. Because of my size, once again, thinking about the variance and the relative size, I would rather keep this one in the money. And then I'm just playing with one contract of risk. I find on 150K accounts, I do much, much, much better when I only have on one contract of risk at a time. Now, I know that sounds confusing because you're like, Matt, but what does that mean? You're short 2. So what do you mean you only have on one contract of risk? What I mean is one of these is already at break even. So this contract, this red one right here that I took at 1022, the second trade, that one's already in the money. So if it gets knocked out, I made money on that specific trade. When you like think about the two trades averaged together, I'm taking on no risk on that one. Now, the first one, obviously the entry was way, way worse. So it's all the way down here at 506. I'm still taking on considerable risk with that one. So I'm only taking on risk from one of the contracts, from one of the trades. And I have found that I do way, way better when I'm only taking on what I'm referring to as one contract of risk at a time. That doesn't mean I only trade one contract at a time. It just means for me to trade another contract, I better be putting my stop at break even on the previous contracts, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For me to add on another one, I am trading well when I get the stops on the original ones to break even, because then it's a freebie trade and I'm moving on. And then I just need to focus on the new one. Hopefully the previous ones don't get knocked out, but if they do get knocked out, once again, it is no sweat off my back. So when I say I'm taking on one contract of risk at a time, it means out of all the contracts that I'm trading, if they're all knocked out, only one of them would be adding a loss to my account. I don't always trade like that, but when I do trade like that, I'm trading a lot better. My intent is to always trade like that. Clearly that's always my intent, but I'm not saying I'm perfect. I am not saying that I have like this, some monk level discipline that allows me to do that. Do I trade minis? Yeah. I mean, but you could see what I trade. It's in the top left. It says NQ. If I was trading micros, it would say MNQ. And I think with certain account sizes, micros are better than minis. And then obviously with other accounts, you want to trade minis over micros. But I think when in doubt, sizing down is probably the best thing you can do. If you are like kind of questioning it of like, oh, or is it too big? Because remember, a micro is 1/10 of a mini. As in, you have to trade 10 micros to have the exact same leverage and I guess risk and reward setup as you do as one mini. So I know they both sound small, mini and micro. They both sound like they're smaller, but mini is actually considerably large. And then a micro is 1/10 of the size of it. So I know it's weirding in like names, but minis are actually really big relative to micros. They're 10x the size, and then micros 1/10. That's the relationship, is you have to trade 10 micros to get the exact same exposure as one mini. And I do think the naming is a little bit funny because we call this thing a mini when it's actually, I'm trading 2 minis right now, and you can see that I'm up $1,800, and that's a trade that I've been in since 10/22. So when she says it's mini, it's big. Oh, yeah. By definition, it's 10x as big as those micros that she deals with. How much is your trade syncer trying to use ATM on Trade8? It's messing with me. I did have some data issues this morning. I didn't know if it was Trade8 or I didn't know if it was Rhythmic, but I'm also not using Trade Syncer. I'm using Replicanto. In my opinion, Replicanto is the best trade copier. I'm not saying the other ones are trash. It's just out of all the ones that I've used, I've had the best experience with Replicanto. It's from Flowbot, so if you want it, you would just go to just Google Replicanto Flowbot. It's a one-time fee, but I've just found from all my trading, it is the best trade copier. Here, someone's asking for the flow. Mag 7 popped early this morning, got hit, popped again, and we're giving some back right now. Looking at the S&P 500, we popped, we gave it back, we popped, and now we're in the middle of giving it back. Looking at the 1 minute over here. Hang on. Oh, I might need to pop on a trade. Let me go to... if my trade gets filled, you're going to hear it. I just need to... Piper's about to fire, so I want to get ready for the Discord. Where is the Discord? Sorry, it's taking me a second to fire everything off today. Piper. What is today? Today's Tuesday, the 17th. Oh, brother.
Order filled.
All right, we got something filled, and literally as that happened, Piper just fired on that flush. Let me just Feb 17th. If you are in the Discord, Piper's, I guess, momentum measured, just kind of an idea of the overall direction of the day just fired. I have yet to take a trade myself. I'm moving this stop down. So just locked in there. I'm up. There's some slippage. Some are as up as 550. Other ones are 220. So quite a bit of slippage today. 4K. What's the most I can go for? Buy limit.
Order submitted.
4K. Where's 4K? The most I could go for is 4K. Once again, because of the consistency rules. All right. All right. So that's the max, that profit target that you can see. That's just the max that I can go for due to the consistency rules. So is that true? It might mess me up on that one. You know what? Let's go for 67.50. And then if I need to lose a little bit of money on that big account, I can. All right, so the max profit that I'm going for is right here, 24,367.5, which is a 4.2K gain off that particular trade. Obviously, my stop's already in the money, and I'm already green on the day, so that's exactly this is the exact setup that I'm looking for. I like being in these situations. We just hit IB. We're bouncing off of IB. I do need to make a decision. Some form of a decision. Oh, where do we see positioning? Okay, so someone had a call debit spread that's kind of getting messed up. Interesting. And by kind of, I mean very evidently getting messed up. Oh, brother. Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, mother. All right, bouncing off of 780, we have that gamma level. Oh. What's the flow looking like? Mag 7. A little bit of a reaction right there off that key gamma level of 780. Let's patient. If you are in the Discord, Piper did fire, but I did not trade quite yet. Shout out Standing Red. I appreciate that monitor thing. Mag 7, SPY. I'm trying to. Where do I want to sell some premium, brother? Where do I want to sell some premium? Uh-oh, where do I want to sell premium? Is now the time? Is now the time? I assume Vol spiking on this. Yeah, VIX is picking up. Silver's down 6%. Tesla's down. Dude, Tesla's getting murked right now. Tesla's down 3.7%, dropping from 413 to 402 intraday. I'm looking at Bookmap over here. There's quite a few sellers at 24,550. 500 is the new point of control. What do we have over here? What? You can't submit an exit order to a strategy until any of its entry orders have been filled.
Order filled.
That was stupid. Uh, 2,000. 100. I don't know what that error was. That seems odd, though. By limit.
Order submitted.
All right. I went short another contract, and you can see I'm trying to lock these in at 415, and my stop on both.
Order submitted.
Okay. My stop is in the money on both, so I am short 2 contracts at 24,520 on average, obviously 2 different fills. And the stop, the fact that you can see my stop is below my short means I'm making money on it. I'm already realized green on the day, so it's going to be adding to it. Or because I added another one, the distance that I need this to travel to the downside for me to max out my consistency on the day is now cut in half, and I'm trying to dump both of these at 24,415, which I do like the concept of getting the fill before that psychological level at 400. So once again, just to break this down, and I think, oh fuck, I think I missed this trade. How do I want to do this? Okay. A little chasey of a trade here today, team. I was paying attention to NQ. Here, I'm sending this into the Discord. I could have had a much better fill. I'm a little bummed about that one. All right. Regardless, I am putting it in the Discord. Oh, it's bouncing against me. Hang on, I need to put this in. Am I going to get lucky over here? Hang on, I'm trying to manage my options and my futures positions. I don't even know how much I really need to quote unquote manage this right now because the stop's already in the green and the stop's above 500. So if it gets rejected here, I'm looking fine. What I do want to do, I need to go to public as quickly as I can. Let's zoom in on this to make it a bit bigger. All right. Sell. What do we want to sell? Gotta be faster, Matthew. Gotta be faster. All right, the stops are there. Now we're just going to see if I'm on the right side of luck today. Did I manage all of my... No, this did not work. Did I get a fill? All right. All right, I'm just putting in my exit orders because I do commonly forget to do that. So obviously, I have bearish positions on the NASDAQ. I have neutral to bearish positions on the SPX via options, and my orders are in. Pipe already fired. That's in the Discord. You guys can see my futures trades. We're done. That's it. That's it. This would be way, way easier if the market actually keeps going for me. So I can get these funded accounts where I need them to be. I'm just looking at this high here at 1037. We have another high here at 1040. commonly there is a reaction to IB. This red dash line is the bottom side of IB, initial bounce. Initial bounce is the fancy name they give to the first hour Orbo, the opening range from 9:30 to 10:30. There are other time frame Orbos. In fact, you could trade whatever Orbo you want. It's literally just the high and the low of whatever that time frame is. So you could trade the 30-second Orbo, the 5-minute Orbo, the 10-minute Orbo, the 15-minute Orbo, the 30-minute Orbo. You can trade whatever Orbo size you want. It's just the opening range denoted from the start of 9:30 to whatever time frame passes. So for whatever reason, they're all called Orbo. It's just, once again, the 1-minute Orbo, the 3-minute Orbo, blah, blah, blah. But for the first hour, for the first 60 minutes from 9:30 to 10:30, they do call that the initial balance. And the initial balance, there are a lot of interesting stats surrounding it, and that's why I like to mark it out on my chart. So if you look at my chart, maybe you could see it better over here. Let me get rid of this. So the right here on my screen, you can see the IB. So the top of IB was made at 9:40. That was the high of the day for the first hour. The bottom of IB was made here at 10:01. So once again, it's the extremes. It's the high and the low of the first hour of trading. And you can see we had a bounce back up to the 50% retracement. So the red dash lines are the extremes. Obviously, the top one's the high, the bottom one's the low. And then the blue dash line is that 50% mark in between. It's like,
Order filled.
just got knocked out.
Order canceled.
So I'm up. There's a lot of slippage today. It's kind of odd, honestly. The smallest one I'm seeing is 598, and then I'm seeing some all the way up to 953. So green on the day thus far. That pump right here, a little bit more than I personally wanted to see. But anyway, I just wanted to point out what IB is, and if you want it on yours, what's the name of this indicator? If you happen to be using Ninja, there is a free indicator for it. It's called Opening Range Indicator. So if you just Google NinjaTrader 8 Open Range Indicator, you'll be able to find it. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. And you could also, I have mine set up for the first hour, but if you're like, no, I like to trade the 15-minute Orbo, like just from 9:30 to 9:45, mark out those highs and lows, you can obviously do that. I mean, and it's actually a pretty interesting tool. So how do I change it? Just to kind of show you. So right now, nope, that's not right. Indicators, where is it? Right click, indicators. So if I wanted to, instead of 9:30 to 10:30, it could be the first 2 hours. I could switch it to, well, that's not going to look that good, but you're going to see if I update this, it switches. See, and now because we're not at 11:30 yet, it just is now marking out the current intraday high and the current intraday low with the updated 50% retracement. Now, if I wanted to go a smaller time frame right here, opening range indicator, we could do 09. We could do it to, I don't know, 45. This is the 15-minute Orbo right there. So it's the high, the low. So it looks like we made the low at 9:32. We made the first 15-minute Orbo right here, the high right there at 9:40. And then that's the 50% retracement. So it just is the quick calculation for you of the high and the low for whatever time frame you care about. And you could also slap on the 50% retracement, which the reason I do that is, as I was alluding to before, there's interesting statistics surrounding the recovery to that level and what happens from there. But I like kind of trading all the Orbos. I like paying attention to all the Orbos. I do think that the initial balance, as in the first 60 minutes, has some of the most compelling statistics around it. But I do believe you can make money off of trading any Orbo if you research it enough and understand the characterization of it enough. I mean, there are people out there, like literally there are people trading the 30-second Orbo. So I'm not saying one is better than the other. I think there are some that are easier to trade than other ones. Like obviously you would inherently need to react less by trading the IB the first 30 minutes rather than the first 30 seconds. But there are interesting statistics around them all. That doesn't just blindly mean, oh, if you see it, just trade it all the time. and like you're just going to automatically make money on it. No. You need to do other filters as well, whether it's looking at the options flow, whether it's looking at the day of the week. I'm by no means campaigning just as soon as you see the initial balance or the orbo or the extremes, just automatically go long or go short. Some of them have characteristics of better mean reversion. So for example, if you look at the 30-minute orbo, it's more likely on that break that you continue. If you look at initial balance, it's actually more likely that you revert. So obviously you would have to dive into the specific characteristics that you're interested in for that orbo, but you could probably make money trading any orbo. Excuse me. The 15-minute orbo has been very nice to me lately. Yeah, I mean, I do believe you can make money trading any orbo. You just have to know when to trade it. And I think a lot of people, they learn about one concept and then they just want to trade that all day, every day. But sometimes maybe the odds are against you to trade that orbo on that day. Like you could data mine it for day of the week. You could cross it with volatility. There's probably so many things you could do. And that I'm also just looking at it on ES and NQ. You could look at it on commodities. You could look at it on SPY, on Qs, on SPX, on NDX. Obviously, all those ones would be like pretty correlated. But you get my point, is like there's a lot of ones to get into for it. And I think orbo strategies are a good place for people who are first getting interested into systematic, not necessarily auto trading, but like, hey, you have like a good framework of like, nope, I trade the 30-minute orbo and I trade it when it breaks down if options flow is also negative. So you're putting some Bayesian criteria, some conditional like probabilities associated with it, like Bayes' theorem of just like, okay, I trade whatever 15-minute orbo breakdowns if the mag 7 flow is also negative. So if not all of that is true, you skip the trade. You have to understand that just as much as we want to trade every day, as much as we want to be making a lot of money every single day, it's just not always going to happen. Sometimes the environment isn't there. Some days, like in the world of trading, it is just true that some days it is better and easier to make money than other days. Matt, I can't find the NASDAQ symbol on Thinkorswim because Thinkorswim does it a little bit differently. And so to get the contract list, have you tried Googling Thinkorswim futures contract list? They do it a little bit differently. But some of them do like _F on Thinkorswim. I believe it's just /NQ. So you have to have /NQ. But I don't know, ask someone in chat that. I believe it's slash in the world of Thinkorswim that you'd want to be paying attention to over there. But that's just a broker specific thing. Like, I just go Google it. Ask ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT. It'll tell you within seconds. How to build patience. Correct. Okay, cool. It's been a minute since I used Thinkorswim, so I was like pulling on a bit of deep memories over there, so I do appreciate that. If we keep popping, I'm looking at 614. If we keep popping, I'm looking at 640. So anywhere basically between 600 and 640, I think is a reasonable reversion. If we don't get there, that actually tells you something about the bearishness currently going on in the market. I would love to... Oh, that's why it was messed up before. Anyway, coming back to our conversation with Apex about the MAE. Remember, Apex, you have 1 day left, 80% off with code Goonie. So you could take the eval trade with someone else's money, Apex's money, for pretty much dirt cheap right now with code Goonie. Is it their best deal ever? No, but it's a very good deal. But anyway, if you're doing it, please, 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 especially on a performance account, be mindful. Be very, very mindful of MAE. And I think the best way to protect yourself with MAE, the very, very best way to do it is to set up an ATM strategy. Right here, ATM strategy, you go to custom, and you could just make your own. So right there, ATM strategy, custom, and you could see when you do it, that you can set in how many orders, what's it being measured in, currency, percent, price, ticks, pips. That you're probably going to want ticks, and then you just do the backwards math based on the underlying thing that you're trading for your stop loss and your profit. But as soon as you trade it, as long as it's set there, that allows you to just auto set your stops so you never violate the MAE. Once again, if you want to know what the MAE is, I do have a full video explaining it. It's on Rumble. It's on YouTube. It's on, if you're on YouTube, it's on the backup channel. But right here, where is it? Apex rules explained, Apex trader rules fully explained. So that's in there. And then there was one more that I go into. Which one is it? There was a top questions one. I know you're going to want to start here because I know I talked about it in there. I believe this is the one with the 230%. Does it not let me drag it a little bit more? Your total net profit. Yes, this is where you're. Yeah. I think I was literally explaining it right there. The total net profit 0.3. There's two 30% rules, and that's where people kind of get confused. There's 30% consistency and then 30% MAE, and I break down both of those rules in this video. So once again, Apex Trader Rules Fully Explained 2026 Prop Trading Guide. It's up on Rumble, it's up on YouTube, and it just has, I mean, as you can see, just like better editing and a better breakdown. So if you're having confusion with like what MAE is and what it isn't, if you're having confusion with what the consistency is, that's the video that you're going to want to check in on. That guy is pale as F. I can't even disagree with you. I can't even disagree with you on that one there, Tonto. I cannot disagree. But it does look, right now I'm flat. I did lock in some money. I guess I could have locked in more money today. I'm looking for a retest of this region somewhere between 600 and 640. 600 is a psychological level. 613 is VWAP and 640 is the 50% retracement. So I'm looking to see if the market pushes up there, which is a big if in itself, but I do think it's more likely than not. I mean, granted, we already pretty much hit 600. The question is, can we get above it and hold above it and actually attempt to make a recovery? Or is it just going to be a lower high? Because right now, since market open, we popped, we failed, we popped again, lower high. This could just be another lower high. In my book, the story would be a bit different if we can take out 641 and hold above it. Not only it's just kind of this high here that we saw at 1020 this morning. That might be a true change of trend on the intraday basis. But for right now, we can all agree we have here's one high, here's the second high, here's the third potential high. Those are all lower highs. And then if you look at the lows, here's your first low, the major low. Well, I guess you could start at the beginning of the day, but regardless, you have one low, your second low, your third low. Those are lower lows. When you have lower highs and lower lows, by definition, that has to be bearish. You cannot have lower highs and lower lows and somehow call that bullish. That does not make sense. Think about what it means. With the lower lows, that means that the bear camp is getting more aggressive each time because it's going down further. And with the fact that you have lower highs, well, that means that the bull camp is getting less aggressive because the heights that they're pumping it to, think about what that means psychologically, is getting less and less. So it's just like that bouncing ball that's like going down the stairs or the slinky going down the stairs. Now, obviously, that is commentary on the intraday trend thus far on the 1 minute trend. When I say higher highs and higher lows, it's going to be very, very different based on your time frame. I looked at the 1 minute and I'm saying lower highs, lower lows. You can look at something super fast like the 100 tick, and when I scroll out here, look at that's higher highs and that's higher lows. Trend is not the same on all time frames. I actually find that like one of the best things you can do is before you trade, identify the trend as many related timeframes as you can. Let's say you're a day trader. Okay, cool. Look at the 5 minute, look at the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 10 minute, the 30 minute. Look at timeframes that are somewhat associated with the time frame that you plan on trading. And as I always find for myself, and I actually have some stats to back this up, but let's just talk about it anecdotally. The more timeframes that align, and if you're trading in that alignment, the better off you are. So it's one thing if you're like, yeah, Matt, I see the 1 minute here, but what's true for the 5 minute? Okay, check the 5, check the 10, maybe check something smaller, maybe check the 500 tick, some shit like that, or maybe check the, I don't know, the 5, like whatever. You get my point. You're checking multiple time frames to see, is there alignment in one direction or the other? And if there is, great. Can you get in on that train, on that ride with minimal risk? And it's actually that final sentence. I think a lot of people conceptually understand the concept of checking multiple time frames. Like they'll quickly scroll through of 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, but then they forget the latter part of it of can you ride that trend with minimal risk? Just right here. At 1034, we would all agree that that's bearish, But if you're going short at 454, are you really comfortable shorting 640? Like, it just doesn't necessarily make the most sense because that's 200 points of risk. So just because we identify trend and we could all be in agreement on the current trend, that doesn't necessarily mean it's an optimal time to trade, because you want to see if you can, whatever your system, whether trend following, mean reverting, whatever it is, can you hop in on your trade on your system with minimal risk? And I feel like it's that latter part that people are like, oh, I forgot to check that. Like right now, can you get in with less risk? Okay, you're short at 570, risking 600 on a day like that. That's not so bad, but also is the trend, like, it's looking a little questionable here. I'd feel a bit more comfortable if we take out 540, but by the time you take out 540, are you okay risking 604? Is 65 points of risk on NQ worthwhile for you to take it? So, and there's no specific right answer, because risk is going to be relative to your account size, how many contracts you're trading, and the underlying that you're trading. Like, once again, there's no perfect answer for every single trader. It's just more at the point that you trade, ask yourself, if you are wrong and your risk gets hit, can you take on that hit? And if the answer is no, it's pretty simple. Then just don't take the trade, which I know is way, way easier said than done. We're all once in a while degenerates here and there. It happens, but just want to call it out. And it's those types of things, like that kind of explanation that I just gave, that we do more in-depth conversations and also active trading in GooneyTrading.com. So if you want to join up with the Goonie Trading Discord server, this is where you can do it, GooneyTrading.com. And of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, come to GooneyTrading.com, go to contact, and this will send it to me. So just give me your name, obviously how I can respond to you, and whatever your question is. And I do my best to respond to everyone within a day, and generally it only takes me like half a day to get back to everyone. But if you want to reach out to me, once again, GooneyTrading.com, come to contact, and I will do my best to respond to you very, very quickly. If you have any, here's some basic FAQs, here's the pricing, and obviously the homepage, and you can see what you get: market analysis, live trading, trading community, and market resources, who we're partnered up with, all the cool things going on in there. But obviously you don't have to take my word for it. I always think the best thing that anyone could do is just ask an active member and get their opinion of if it's worthwhile or not. Of course, in my opinion, I'm going to say it's worthwhile because I made it and I put in all the effort to it. So obviously my opinion of it is going to be somewhat skewed. So feel free to check it out you could just check it out, read that FAQ, ask me questions, and then from there, just ask an existing member if they think it's worth it. I'm sure you're going to find some that say yes. I'm sure you're going to find some that say no. And I guess then from there, with that information, you just have to kind of weigh it out. We are coming to an interesting point. The 5-minute is testing to go bullish. The 10-minute is testing. 30 minutes still bearish. 4 hours still bearish. Looking on ES, the 5-minute is testing. The 10 minutes about to be testing. 30-minute is still bearish. I'd be looking for this pump from 1040 until now, the past 20 minutes, to fail, just because the trend's already down and generally trend persists. But I do want to point out that the S&P 500 futures, we just hit a new delta high. So this is actually the most bullish. Interesting. It's call buying and a bit of put selling. It all seemed to change at 1033. You can see that dramatically changed. What about the Mag 7? Mag 7's going flat, not really doing anything over here. Not really doing anything over here. Interesting. $600. We're right at VWAP right now. Let me minimize this so you guys can see it a little bit better. So the previous high is what? 640, at least on this time frame, and we're also at VWAP. So like I said, I told you between 600 and 640 is the area I'm interested in terms of, do we get rejected? Great, I'll go short. Do we hold above it? Great, I'll go long. But I'm just watching this high that we made at 1020, and also that would be the extreme of it, 640. And then below that, you have the 50% retracement, which is at, I guess, technically 638. And then you have VWAP, which is at 611. And then you have the psychological level at 600. So it is pretty much this block right here that I care about. Between 640, we just took out that high. Well, almost. Yeah, we did actually. We popped above it. The question, this little block, this little rectangle, I care, are we holding above it or are we holding below it? Rumor has it that Matt hunts New York sewer rats and eats them for dinner on days that he blows out his accounts. Nah, I don't wait for those days. I just do it regardless. I just do it regardless. Interesting test. This is definitely the test zone. Is it going to hold or not? Just because we pierce it, in my book, it doesn't necessarily count as a breakout, but let's see. Let's see. A little overshoot here. We did sweep these lows. And remember, as soon as you take out the previous day's low, which at this point is Friday's trading session low on SPY, that's 677.52. It is 596.42 on QQQ. As soon as you do that, that tells you that you have just below an 80% chance of closing below the previous close. So as soon as we took this out at 955 and 950, we knew at that point, based on like just Bayesian probabilities, just historically how it's played out in the past, you have about a 4 in 5 chance of closing somewhere below 681.74, somewhere below 601.92. So the odds are right now favoring that we close in the red. Now, it's a different question of how deeply in the red, but just in the red. Can I still upgrade my monthly locals fee to yearly? No, everything is currently, so for the existing locals members, you don't have to use this, and we will port you over eventually, but all of the connection is now done through Goonie Trading. So locals is now used for the free newsletter, but there's no longer an existing connection from locals into the Discord. If you already were previously on it, it's still alive, and we will eventually be stepping away from that. But in the meantime, all new memberships, it doesn't matter what form, all new memberships will be handled on Goonie Trading. In fact, unless you have an existing membership, there's no way to create a new one on locals that would connect you to the Discord. There's that connection is severed. It's only alive for the people who already had locals memberships, but for all new ones, it's all managed via goonietrading.com. And of course, if you have any questions, if there's confusion, just reach out to me. I'm happy to help. Just literally contact at goonietrading.com, or just come to contact, or DM me on Twitter. There's many, or ask in chat. I mean, there's a lot of ways to reach out to me. I'm not attempting to like hide how to get a hold of me. Let's get that. What a pump. All right, so the intraday high is 845. All right, so we're right at this double top high at 1020. I'm really curious if it's going to keep going from here or not. We did overshoot the low. We had a low at 10, and then we overshot it at 1040. It was a quick little fake out. We went an extra 4 points deeper, and then some buyers stepped in. You're seeing that a little bit in the Mag 7 flow. Some call buying did step in, but you see it more dramatically in the SPY right here. It stopped at 1033. A lot of puts getting sold, a lot of calls being bought. And so you are simultaneously adding positive delta and removing negative delta, which is why you get the net delta influence to be a giant pop. A giant pop. Look at that. Wow. That's crazy. And this is exactly why I got out at when my stop was break even all the way back over here. That was my exit. I got out for profit at 511. We're already trading at 670. I would have been off by 170 points per contract, and I had 2 contracts. This is why you have to get out when you are wrong. Whatever your risk management system is, you have to stick to it. There's no other option. If you're not sticking to it, eventually you're just guaranteeing the fact that you will blow out. You might not blow out on the first trade. You might not blow out on the second trade. You might not even blow out on the third trade. But if you are continually not following your risk parameters, eventually the bad beat will come for you, and eventually it will knock you out. So this is a good example of it. I was able to get green on the day and be green and lock it in, and that was my exit right there. And in fact, that would have been a really good opportunity to go long, because I would have been long at 510 and I currently would have been up 170 points. So I could have really been ripping it. But this is a good real-time example of, you just don't know. The trend was down. If I just show you this chart right here, all the way on the lower right, that's where I got out. We would all agree this is bearish. Lower highs, lower lows, great, okay. I got out here just in case the trend changes, and guess what? It did legitimately fully change. Now, there's going to be some examples where it pops a little bit and then it fails right there and it keeps going down, and you could be like, oh, I wish I held on to it. Yeah, me too. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. But you are protecting yourself from the times that like legitimately it's going against you. Like that's the only way to do it. There's no other way to handle this. There's no good reason ever to be like, I'm going to take on more risk. I'm not going to follow my risk tolerance. Like, you might get lucky on that one trade. And if you do it, hey, I've broken my rules in the past too. I hope that particular risk pays off for you. But I can tell you, if you keep doing it time and time again, it is only a matter of time before it's all gone. It is all gone. Look at that pop. It really started to recover. And then right here at 10:52, we got a flow alert and it got crazy from there. Vol is dying. Wow. Look at that. 5-minute bearish recovery. Even the 30-minute. The 30-minute. Granted, we're not going to find out for another 22 minutes where this bar closes. See how earlier today it tried to close above and got smacked? That's what I'll be watching right now. Does the 30-minute actually get a bullish close? The 5-minute already did. The 1-minute already did. The 1-minute's actually been ripping, but we're looking at the 5 and the 10. They both closed in a minute 40. That might actually now be bullish, but the 30-minute bar, we have to wait, obviously, until 11:30, so 22 more minutes. And the same is true on ES. 5-minute and 10-minute, we have a minute and a half till they close bullish after being bearish, but I'm watching the 30-minute, and I also want to point out that the 4-hour is still technically bearish, and it doesn't become bearish or bullish until we take out Friday's high and close up there. Pretty much the same on NQ. So watching, basically I care a lot about where we close at 11:30. Do you typically let paper ride or bail if needed? It's up to you and your sizing. If you size it small enough, you can ride it. If you're sizing it too big, you would have to know your cut level. But that's user specific, account specific, personality specific. That's not Piper can be made to be profitable if you cut on test, which if you do that, you could play it a little bit bigger, but then you're going to get knocked out more often. Or if you size it small enough, you can ride it all the way to close. It's profitable in both cases. The mismatch there where I see most people, and sometimes I screw this up myself, is sizing it too big, but not being able to ride it all the way to close. So it always comes back to just what's going to get you in trading is leverage. And you could look at that as too many futures contracts. You could look at that as too many options, but it's just at the end of the day, what's going to nail you in this game, like where you're going to blow out, is playing too big and not managing your risk appropriately. That's how you're going to lose. In fact, I would actually deeply argue that that's far more important than your actual trading strategy. If your trading strategy is, hey man, I just guess like 50-50 and that's my trading strategy, you can be profitable. You could actually be very profitable if you just manage your risk properly. Like you could literally just say, hey, Matt, I've heard you argue time and time again that intraday it's 50-50. So I flip a coin at the start of the day and at 10 a.m. I take the trade depending on what the coin tells me. You can make that profitable if you manage your risk well. Risk management, like whether it's knowing when to get out or your sizing, or really the combination of the two, is actually exponentially more important than like your specific entries and the edge of your trading system from a mathematical standpoint. And there's been many studies that show this, and we could have a multi-hour lecture on like mathematically why that is. But I think a lot of retail traders, and I'm not saying this is inherently wrong of like focusing on your entries, but a lot of retail traders seem to burn a lot of time just like, okay, like when exactly do I get in and what's the exact setup, and tell me about some stupid thing like a fair value gap, and okay, great, I see it, I'm going to trade. They focus on that for like 99% of their energy, and the other 1% of the time, that's when they're starting to think about, okay, what is the appropriate sizing? When would I admit I'm wrong? Like yada, yada, yada type of a thing. And it should be inverted. Like your sizing and your risk is far more mathematically important, And it happens, like we all get there. Like someone just said, sounds like my trading. We've all been there before, but like truly, it's a game of risk. I know I've said this a million times, and if you've been here, you're like, dude, Matt, you're just droning on about the same thing over and over again. And I'm like, dude, that's the one thing of trading. The one thing of trading is just risk management, and all the other shit will like take care of itself. It truly, truly will. Clawing my way back from almost blowing out and now only down 322. Pray I can pass the eval now. Best of luck, dude. When it comes to passing an eval, I trade them differently. On Apex, I just rip it. I go max contracts, one direction or the other, and pray that I'm right. You can't do that with a performance account. If they find you doing that with a performance account, you'll never get a payout. But you can do it to pass an eval. The way I pass an eval on Apex, and only specific to Apex, is incredibly degenerate. It is not financially efficient, but it is very time efficient. But once again, and you need to hear this, you cannot do that with performance accounts, with funded accounts. If they catch you doing it, they're going to probably take the accounts away from you. They're definitely never going to pay you out or anything like that. So I just do it to aggressively pass the accounts, but it's only for the eval stage. And it's pretty much only for Apex because if they, on these other ones, what am I trading here? There's consistency rules on Lucid, on Take Profit, and on FFN. None of these are one-day pass accounts, so I have to trade them a little bit more, quote-unquote, normally, which is why with them, when I pass them, I'm still trading I'm not doing the degenerate bullshit, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of people who have seen my videos saying how to pass evals, and they're like, you can't do that in performance. I'm like, well, you didn't watch the video, because in it, I specifically say you cannot get paid out. You can only pass an Apex eval, so that's the only time to go full on degen. In any other account, you're not going to be able to really pass the eval that way. You'll probably break some sort of rule, and even on Apex performance, they're not going to do it. Apex will send their henchmen to your door, maybe. The risk management priority is so easy to understand, but integration takes time and some effort. What do you suggest to become better and better at? You just do it time and time again. Obviously, it's a game of survival, so it's better to do it on a paper trading account because you're inherently going to have longer time to survive. But I'm never arguing that it's mathematically hard to understand. The concepts of what you need to know to be a profitable trader are actually rather simple. You don't need to be some sort of mathematical expert to understand you can't take on outsized losses. It's much more for active traders, especially if you're not doing it in an algorithmic fashion. It's much more of a discipline battle. So the question of what do I suggest you do? Well, not to be snide here, but get disciplined. And how to get disciplined? Well, that's a personal thing. We all have our own personal journey of where our discipline's at and how to make our discipline better. What works for you might not work for me, might not work for the next guy. So yeah, do I admit that it's rather rudimentary? Yeah, I do. You have to be disciplined and you have to get out. If I could make a magic pill that made people disciplined, dude, I wouldn't have to trade. I'd be a multi-trillionaire from hawking that pill day in and day out. But at least to my knowledge, that doesn't exist. So that means that we're inherently left over with the concept of you have to figure it out yourself. If you're a very disciplined person, trading is most likely going to be far, far easier for you. If you are an undisciplined person and you don't figure it out, well, you'll probably never be successful in trading. That it's just the cold hard truth. I wish there was a one little psychology trick that made any person disciplined. It just doesn't exist. If it did, everyone would be doing it, and everyone would have at least all traders, you'd have a shitload of money. And it's the same thing. I don't know. What's a good analogy here? I think a really good analogy to this point is the gym and lifting. We all know going to the gym, exercising, and dieting is healthier, and it makes you fit, and you're going to get ripped. Just because we know it, what's the difference there? We all know the gym and dieting and exercise works. If someone is trying to pitch to you that the gym, exercising, and dieting doesn't work, well, they're pretty fucking stupid. We know it works. It's out there. It's been studied. There's research. There's literature. We all know that. But then yet, why do we have fat asses? Well, it's not because they somehow disagree with the math or the science of it. They're just undisciplined. It's just not what they give a shit about. I could pitch you guys a million different trading strategies that are profitable. And just because it's profitable doesn't mean people are, because the difference there is being undisciplined. Same as the gym. We know certain things work time and time again. And it's not just trading. It's not just the gym. Like, I'm sure we can find many, many examples of it, but that's all it is. We don't need to overcomplicate this concept of burn more calories than you consume. We don't need to overcomplicate the concept of trading, of stick to your trading plan that has positive expected value. Where it all falls apart legitimately is just do you personally have the discipline to follow it? That's it. But yeah, I want to do something else to lose weight. Diet and exercise are not fun. You could say that about trading. Sticking to your trading plan is not fun, but that's what leads to success. Burning more calories than you consume leads to weight loss. Like, it's not, people want to overcomplicate many, many things in life. And there are certain things in life that are complicated, such as women. They don't make fucking sense. But that doesn't mean everything's complicated. That's true of trading too. Everybody has the DJ and wants to full port and get rich in one day. Yeah. Well, that's how I kind of pitched this concept. I pitched the concept by saying, I was looking for a metaphor that makes sense in both. Both. It's just many things in life. The difference is not the knowledge of the basing, it's lack of discipline. What about the over-disciplined trader, Matt? Can you wax on, wax off? I don't think there's such thing as an over-disciplined trader. I don't think that I don't know how you could be over-disciplined. I don't know if that exists in life. What's an over? Give me an example of that. Like, what would be an over-disciplined trader? What would be an action? Anything that I'm coming up with, and maybe I'm just misunderstanding here, anything that I'm coming up with, it's just discipline. Like, there's no way you can follow your rules harder. You're either following your rules or you're not. You're either exercising and dieting or you're not. It's more of a binary, not really like a way that, it's not really much of a gradient. And if it is a gradient, I don't know how a person would go from discipline to over discipline. Over discipline is not putting enough trading size in the move needed because of fear. No, that just means you're not following it. That's, by definition, that is lack of discipline. If you have a system that calls for trading a certain amount of size, you better be trading that size. That's not over discipline. That's still, you're just explaining a lack of discipline. Like, literally, it's just, are you doing what you should be doing? If you're not trading enough size, that is lack of discipline. You are not following your rules. So that I would not define that at all as over-disciplined. I actually don't. I cannot think of an example in this world of being over-disciplined. I don't think that's a thing. I think it may be being overly cautious. Yeah, but once again, it's still a lack of discipline. You're not doing what you should be doing. That is only defined as lack of discipline. It doesn't matter why. It might be because you're fearful. It might be because you didn't pull the right tarot card. It doesn't matter the reason of why. It's more of the result. And the result is not following your trading plan, which no matter how you cut it up, all of it leads back to lack of discipline. Like, it doesn't matter what their entry was and they still didn't lose money. What? I don't know what that means. Your friend, Ben, that makes no sense. Like, it doesn't, who are you referring? The person asking you that didn't hear you talking about the best risk managers can also give trades they didn't even enter. Well, yeah, I mean, that's a little different. I see what you're saying, but that's just a different story of proof that your exit and your risk management is the most important thing. Over-disciplined uses very less contracts, exit early. No, that's wrong. If you use less contracts and exit earlier in either of those, especially together, you are not following your trading system. That is not over-disciplined. Be very, very careful of that mindset, because you might be like, oh, I'm over-disciplined, I can survive. No, this idea of, oh, no one ever went broke taking profits, that is a stupid fucking statement. Let's say, for example, you're always supposed to go for a 2x risk reward and you're taking it off early. Well, over many, many data points, that means you're going to be net losing because your system called for you to go for more money and you always like cut it way, way too early. So the math ain't going to math at the end of the day. So no, trading less contracts and exiting early is not over discipline. It is it's still lacking discipline. Once again, you're just not following your rules. How in the fuck are people calling this over discipline? This is a dumb saying. It is a very stupid saying. People seem to think discipline means you can't have big trades. That's what I'm starting to understand, and this is kind of blowing my fucking mind. It really is stick to your trading plan. That's it. It means whatever your trading plan, whatever your trading strategy calls for you to do, you stick to it. We're talking about sizing. We're talking about risk. We're talking about profits. If you are not sticking to your trading system, by definition, that is a lack of discipline. Trading smaller and getting out earlier does not mean you're over disciplined. It means, once again, you are not following your trading system. That's a lack of discipline. You're either following everything exactly how you're supposed to, and you're a disciplined trader, or you are not, and you are an undisciplined trader. There's no such thing as over disciplined. It does not. That's not a thing. And it's clearly not a thing in trading. I don't even know how it could be a thing in any aspect of life. Like I think this concept of over disciplined is illogical. I deeply believe it does not exist. I'm not buying it. You're either doing exactly what you should be doing or you're not. It's a binary. It's not somehow a gradient where you could be like more so. I think he's confusing over discipline with being rigid. No, if you rigidly follow your rules, you're being disciplined. A deviation from the rules is lack of discipline. All right, before we head out, I did want to show you guys that the Mag 7 calls are ripping right now, and S&P 500 also got a nice pump. So things were looking pretty bad in the first half hour, and honestly, up until the first hour, they were looking pretty brutal. And now we're seeing a pretty decent recovery starting around 10:30, 10:40. So right now, dramatic switch up. 5-minute was bearish, pushing bullish. 10-minute was bearish, pushing bullish. 30-minute was bearish, and in about 5 minutes, unless there's a crazy reversal, is going to be going back bullish. So we're seeing the first hour having a very, very different story here. Same on NQ. Look at bearish to bullish, bearish to bullish, bearish to, once again, 4 minutes and 40 seconds will be back bullish. The 4 hour on both of these is still bearish. So I just want to point this out that we started off somewhat decent the first couple minutes, and then very evidently the bears were in control for about the first hour. And then from the first hour onward, 10:30, 10:40 till now, second hour of the day, the bulls are back in control to the point that we're seeing legitimate switches in momentum here. So like I've been alluding to, I kind of care a lot about this close. So we're going to find that out in 4 minutes, but we might be going from slightly bullish to clearly bearish back to clearly bullish. So we're seeing a lot of flips today, which I think it's going to stall out here. Look at this positive gamma. Remember, price is slippery in all the red. That is negative gamma. So whatever way you're going, you tend to get going. So we were going down, we went down a lot. We started going up, we went up a lot. But we are finally running into a bit of positive gamma right here. So I'm expecting price to slow down in this zone. If it somehow gets above 6880, there's another node of negative gamma. So that could actually really get going up to maybe 6900 and some change. But that would be a big if. Like I would first have to be convinced that we're getting through this positive gamma. So here, don't be surprised if two things happening. Don't be surprised generically if price action slows down, because that's an aspect of positive gamma, which is basically from 68.50 to 68.80. So in that 30-point range, don't be surprised if the range itself slows down, volatility calms down. And also don't be so surprised if we get rejected out of it. And if we start to fall, specifically if we go back red on the day below 68.40, that's negative gamma. So the fall could actually accelerate because it just gets more and more negative down here. And then the third case, which I would think is more unlikely, is we grind all the way up and then pop again in this negative gamma. I'm not saying it's impossible. I just think out of all those scenarios, it's the least likely one, but obviously time will tell. So just be careful with this. I mean, 68.50 to 80, that's where I expect things to calm down, pretty much this zone here. 50 to 80, that's positive gamma. So I wouldn't be so surprised. What I'm actually looking for is I think a rejection is going to be happening soon. And what I care about is the depth of the rejection. I think we'll run into this positive gamma, get smacked, and the depth of the pullback tells me a lot. If we get smacked all the way back, bears are fully in control. Halfway back, a little bit back, bulls are in control, and then maybe we'll take another shot at this positive gamma. So what I am measuring from here is basically the depth of the first pullback. So please pay attention to that. Before I let you go, remember, if you want to trade with me, GooneyTrading.com. This is your final day. Apex, 80% off with that code Goonie. And you could also get 80% off spot gamma, which is exactly this tool that I'm using here. And look at it, we're almost as if it was predicted. That's kind of funny. But anyway, this is spot gamma. I use it for the trace tool. I use it for the flow. Very cool tool. So all that stuff's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. Let's see if I could do this right. Did I switch myself over? I think I did. Oh, hey, it's there. Folks, I do appreciate you joining me. We're back in action. I know we had a little bit of a longer weekend, a 3-day weekend for Washington's birthday, President's Day, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, over that, I finally moved back to my mom's basement. That's where I am right now. So in the move, some things got broke here and there. So not only that, I don't mind it that much because I did want to buy a whole new setup and gear it anyway, just to bring the stream and the show to the next level. So if you guys wouldn't mind, I know it's not perfect. I know I'm fumbling the buttons here and there and everywhere. So just give me like a little bit of leeway. Give me like a week to get the lights back to where they should be. I want to do the background. I have a lot of things planned for it. So basically when Amazon finally starts delivering all these packages that I ordered, I should be able to kind of piecewise make it slightly better and better and better. So in the meantime, especially as I'm fumbling the buttons, like right here, I just have all these buttons that I can click and bounce around and mute. I was literally saying, give me a second. Did I do this one? I was literally saying, give me a second I need to figure out a better way to do it. I was going to say, that's actually hilarious. I did not mean to do that. I was saying, give me a second to learn all the buttons because like this is my first time with the Stream Deck rather than using the audio board. So I'm probably going to mess it up. And that is absolutely hilarious that in mute, pitching to you guys of give me a second because I'm going to mess things up. I was literally messing things up. So my apologies for that. I'll be better at it. I just need to get used to these buttons. And before you know it, it will be second nature. So like I said, my apologies, but I will fix it. We're going to be posting content later on today, streaming once again tomorrow morning. Pay attention to the major macroeconomic events, Friday being the big day. Pay attention to earnings. The big one of this week is Walmart. Pay attention to that. Pay attention from my day traders, scalp traders to the key levels of where the big money is at. Take advantage of those fat 80% off deals with Spot Gamma and Apex. And if you want to trade with me, Goonie Trading. Other than that, as always, respect your risk. I appreciate all the good vibes. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Peace.